National Lampoon's Loaded Weapon. Fade in. Exterior mini mall night. Half a dozen seedy stores, dry cleaners, adult bookstore, Winchell's, 7-Eleven, cheap, unattractive Christmas decorations in the shop windows. A battered, big-finned 57 caddy with bullet holes in the windshield pulls into the lot leaking radiator fluid. Tyler Reed drives. A burnout case, long hair, cigarette dangling from the lower lip, green fatigue jacket, Levi's boots, and the weight of the world on his shoulders. And the eyes, flint hard and a touch of madness. He parks the car, turns it off. The engine keeps bucking and chugging, and Reed gets out. Interior 7-Eleven night. The car engine coughs off screen as Reed enters the store. Typical mini mart, glass cases full of soda and beer, unnatural colored cheeses, shelves of Twinkies, beef jerky, cash register, and two jabbering Hindus behind the counter. A man stands between them wearing a translator button. The Hindus jabber. Reed looks to the translator.
Hello, hello. How are you? Happy holidays.
Happy holidays? You're wishing me happy holidays. I guess you didn't lose the only one who meant anything in your life. I guess you don't feel burned out by the anguish, the human misery, and despair penetrated by the criminal vermin that infects every pore of this decaying city, forcing you to guzzle cheap wine and cheaper whiskey to dull the pain that shatters your heart and tears at your soul. What flavor slippers do you have?
Kiwi cherry?
Oh!
Reed takes a bacon burger out of the cooler and pops it into the microwave oven, punches a couple buttons, saunters over to the magazine rack, thumbs through a magazine, advertising cards slide out. He turns the magazine sideways to open the centerfold. It cascades to the floor. A ridiculous number of those pain in the butt cards fall out. Another angle. It's a centerfold of a massive new assault rifle. The heading reads Gun of the Month. Two punks enter. Trouble. They cross to the counter.
Excuse me. Where would I find the Huggies disposable diapers?
No Huggies. No Huggies. Beef jerky.
No Huggies. You can call this a call this a convenience store? Open the cash register or I'll splatter your brains.
Are you a zombie? He produces a sawed-off shotgun from under his coat, and punk number 2 does the same. Hindus and translators start yammering. On Reed puts back the magazine. As he moves towards the counter, we see he is knee-deep in magazine advertising cards.
Excuse me?
And now everyone looks at Reed. He smiles.
These Balls mind if I join in?
Reed produces his own gun. The two punks jump behind one roll of food and Reed behind another. And what happens next happens very quickly with a cacophony of gunfire, shattering glass, and splintering wood. Reed jumps out from behind the row, gun blazing. Jumps back, legs pantyhose display. Punk number 2 leaps out, pumps his shotgun, blam, blam, leaps back. Cases of coke. Reed spins through the frame like a pirouetting ballerina firing submachine gun. Twinkie display. Punk number 2 springs out in the blast a grenade launcher. Pet food aisle. Reed jumps out with 2 German World War II potato masher hand grenades, flings them, jumps back. The counter. The Hindus pop up with a flamethrower. The one wears the tank, the other manipulates the nozzle. A tongue of flame shoots out. They drop back behind the counter. Reed and punk number 2. They leap into frame from opposite directions. Side by side, they fire. Notice they're next to each other and leap away from each other out of frame. Potato chip display. Reed jumps out with a bag of chips in hand, munches a few, and jumps back behind the display. Canned soup display. Punk number 1 bounds out with a slingshot, lets loose a stone. Off screen, and Goliath compete with the breastplate and helmet. Drops through the frame. Punk number 1 bounds back behind the row. Wide angle so we can see the punks and Reed leaping out, firing and jumping back, but they're nowhere near each other. In fact, they have their backs to each other. They're blasting away at shelves of food, and the store is in shambles. Comic book rack. Reed rolls out from behind the rack, dives behind the bags of dry food stacked sandbag-like. He leaps up, a Rambo rifle in each hand, belts a finger-sized bullet crisscrossing his chest, blasting away. The punks tumble through frame in a slow-motion choreographed Greg Louganis fight. They fly through the plate glass window. An excess amount of glass rains down like it was being dumped out of a truck. Punk number 1 tries to crawl away. Reed stands over him, takes dead aim.
know what you're thinking, punk. You're thinking, did he fire 173 times? Or 174? Or do you feel lucky, punk?
The punk collapses. Glass is still falling. The 7-Eleven has been obliterated. Nothing's left in one piece except the microwave. Reed crosses to it. The Hindus leap up, jabbering away, pointing frantically at the charred remains of their store. Reed holds up a silencing hand.
I know. You don't have to thank me. Hey, I'm just a cop doing my job.
The microwave timer bell goes off and Reed pops open the door. The burger's burnt to a crisp.
Hey, you gotta get this thing fixed.
Reed saunters out and the Hindus are screeching at him. Exterior mini mall. Sounds of sirens in the distance. Reed crosses to his caddy. The engine is still running. The camera pulls back as Reed drives off. We're into titles now as the camera sweeps over. Los Angeles, night. It lies beneath us, iridescent and inviting. We know it's Los Angeles because we superimpose Los Angeles. And now the camera soars, dips, spiraling slowly down over the city. Super Tuesday night, December 19th. Music now. Jingle Bell Rock. Or some other commercial neo-rock and roll Christmas tune. Super 9:53. The 3 rolls out of the frame and click, it's 9:54. Now the camera floats almost languidly towards the high-rise, high-price apartment complex. Close enough to read no loitering stenciled on the building, 15 stories above the street. Super clear and 67 degrees. Moving in on the 10th floor apartment window through billowing curtains into the apartment. Super, an apartment. There in the bed, in a tangle of silk sheet, lie the couple from the Folgers coffee commercials. An electric coffee bot sits between. They're drinking coffee. Super, couple in bed. She looks up directly into camera and screams. She grabs things off her nightstand and hurls them at the camera. He joins in. A glass. Super, a glass. A lamp. Super, a lamp.
I get out of here. You have some nerve.
The camera retreats out the window and resumes its descent. Exterior neighborhood street night. LA bungalow community. The sailing camera knocks a plastic Santa and reindeer off the roof. Jars lose a few bricks from the neighboring house's chimney and then drifts towards the only undecorated home on the block. The camera heads straight for the front door. Bam! Hits it. The door doesn't budge. The camera staggers back a few feet and turns for a window. A closed window. Glass shatters as the camera heads into interior house living room. The camera drifts past the TV set and Wayne Newton's Christmas from the Mall special. Wayne sings while the Rockettes kick and dance their way into a Tom McCann shoe store. Interior bedroom. Now the camera floats over to the bed and rumpled pile of sheets. From this pile emerges Bill York. Early 50s, complexion like overboiled rice, muscle tone of a clam. He shakes his head to clear the cobwebs, checks his wristwatch, say that 10 times fast. Wristwatch, jiggles it, holds it to his ear. It's not working. Checks the time on his nightstand clock. It's stopped too.
Damn.
He tosses it aside in disgust. Super 9:57. York glances in the direction of the super time and jumps up.
9:57.
Frantically, he punches out a phone number. It rings. York taps his foot nervously.
You've reached the desk of Sergeant Wes Olson. Please leave a message after the beep.
Wes, it's Bill again. I think.
I said after the beep.
Yeah, right. Sorry.
Beep.
I think it's too dangerous to wait here. I'm getting out. Meet me at the Squealers Hotel downtown. I've got a contact there.
York slams the receiver back in the cradle. Exterior York's house. A van pulls up in front of the house. Wilderness Girls of America. Painted on the side. Headlights blink out. Interior York house bedroom. An open suitcase plops down on the bed. York frantically tosses things into it. Shirts, socks, a pistol, brass knuckles, a bear trap, a set of false teeth, a pizza, a glass of water, a puppy. Exterior York house. The rear doors of the van slam shut. A large cardboard box is placed on a dolly. Little girl feet appear wearing little girl shoes. They hop up and skip merrily up the walkway, pushing the dolly. The feet stop. A Camel cigarette hits the ground and the feet grind it out. Then continue their hop and skip up the walkway. Interior York house living room. York enters carrying the suitcase. The doorbell rings. York freezes. Looks around, crosses to a wall of photos and takes one down. It's a picture of York and a man we'll meet later, Wes Olson. The doorbell rings again, and York gropes under the coffee table for something. He's got it. A piece of chewing gum. York sticks the gum on the back of the photo, and now that damn doorbell rings incessantly. Olson takes a film canister out of his pocket, produces a strip of microfilm, sticks the microfilm on the gum, and hangs the picture back on the wall. York crosses to the door and peers through the peephole. What he sees: distorted, fisheye view of a wilderness girl. A Schwarzenegger body squeezed into an ill-fitting uniform dress, scar across the cheek. 5-day stubble on the chin, one ugly wilderness girl.
Who is it?
Wilderness gals.
York unlocks several locks and opens a door. Door opens to reveal another lock-laden door. He opens the second door to reveal a vault door. He enters the combination, spins the huge metal wheel, swings it open to reveal hanging beads. He parts the hanging beads and peers down at the wilderness girl.
We've baked these cookies just for you with love and much sincerity. Won't you buy a box today and help our push for charity?
Little late to be selling cookies.
Troop leader says we're not meeting our quota.
York sighs and leads her into the house.
Give me a couple of boxes.
Turns around to face the barrel of a 44 Magnum.
Make that a case?
That won't be necessary, Mr. York.
The wilderness girl pulls off her wig, revealing a short brown hair. York immediately pulls off his hair, revealing he's bald. York smiles, and the wilderness girl pulls off brown hair, revealing a blonde crew cut. Meet Mr. Jigsaw, midget merc, and all-around hostile bad guy. York's beaten.
Gotta be honest, you look a lot better with a wig on.
Jigsaw presses the gun against York's nose.
My hairstyle is the least of your concerns.
Wilderness girls. So that's how the drugs are shipped.
Brilliant, Mr. York. Now, if you please, the microfilm.
I don't know what you're talking about.
You insult my intelligence. Now give it to me.
I haven't got it.
Who does?
York doesn't answer. Jigsaw screws a silencer onto the barrel of his gun.
In a little while, you will beg to tell me, Mr. York, so why not save yourself unnecessary pain and tell me now?
York's nervous, bites his lower lip, and Jigsaw sticks the gun under his chin.
McCracken.
Jigsaw smiles.
Thank you, Mr. York.
And Piff, he fires at York. York drops out of frame. Thud. Jigsaw turns to go, thinks of something, and turns back.
Is that Dan McCracken or Phil McCracken?
Bill.
Jigsaw nods. Piff shoots York again, takes a few steps, turns back.
Is he on Alpine or Oak?
Fine.
Jigsaw nods, shoots him again, almost makes the door when...
You better park on the third. You'll never find a spot on Alpine.
Thank you. You've been most cooperative.
Don't mention it.
Jigsaw fires again. There's a thud and a crash, then silence. Jigsaw exits. Exterior Wes Olson's house, morning. A pleasant two-story house on a palm tree-lined street, heavy on the Christmas decorations. A construction crew works on the neighbor's home, adding an addition. Overshot, we hear a knock on the door, and
Debbie, honey, time to get up. Rise and shine.
immediately a rope ladder flies out a second-story window, and a man in a Laker uniform climbs down. The fact that it's a Laker, a second Laker follows close behind. Interior hallway. Wes Olson knocks on the bedroom door. He's edging past 50 and maybe fighting it a little, but hey, he's got this great family, so how bad can things be?
Debbie, up and at 'em.
Olson opens the door. Interior Debbie's bedroom. Debbie, Olson's knockout teenage daughter, is in bed with the blanket up to her chin. Beside her, someone has a blanket over their head. A pair of bare legs wearing sweat socks and high-top sneakers poke out from under the blanket. Olson peeks into the room.
I'll be right there, Daddy.
Okay, sugar.
Olson closes the door. The third Laker shows up, throws off the blanket and bolts for the window. Interior hallway. Whistling happily to himself, Olson moves on to another door and knocks.
Ben, you up, son?
Ben is Olson's 9-year-old son. Olson opens the door. Interior Ben's bedroom. Ben is in the bed with the blanket up to his chin. A pair of long legs and sweat socks and sneakers stick out from under the covers of the bed, too.
Rise and shine.
Be right down, Dad.
Olson closes the door. Interior Olson's den, morning. Lots of photos on the wall. Olson with fellow officers, Olson on his boat, Olson standing proudly beside a large marlin. He removes one of the dozen fishing rods from a wall rack, whips it back and forth, relishing its action. He talks to it as if it were a woman.
Few more days and it's just you, me, and our worms dangling in the water. Love the way you tease me and fight me and toy with me. Did a bite or just a nibble? Love holding you in my hands and feeling every tremble and quiver pulsating along your willowy body. I better check my messages.
There's an answering machine on his desk and he checks it.
Wes, Bill York. Long time, I know. But I gotta see you. I'm on to something that could blow the lid off the city.
Crash, distracted by the message, Olson casts a lure through the den window.
Cocaine's being pipelined into your country through LA. I need your help, Wes. I think they're on to me. Call me as soon as you get this message.
Message beeps to an end. During this, Olson has been trying to reel in the line. He's playing it like he's battling a fish. Beep, a second message.
Wes, it's Bill again. It's too dangerous to wait here. I'm getting out. Meet me at the Squealers Hotel downtown. I've got a contact there.
Grappling with the fishing rod, Olson reaches to rewind the message.
Wait, I'm not done.
Sorry.
Remember, Wes, you owe me.
For what?
Remember Nam? I took a bayonet for you.
We weren't Nam.
We could have been.
Is that it?
Yeah.
Message beeps off. The fishing rod suddenly bucks violently in Olson's hand. Outside, a woman screams. Olson jerks on the rod. The fishing line snaps back into the room, a large bra dangling from the lure. He examines it.
Oh, yep, that's a keeper.
He tosses it in a desk drawer with a lot of other ladies' underwear. Interior kitchen. Olson enters. His wife, Doris, is pouring orange juice for a man in his early 30s. Doris is late 40s and fighting it. They both wear fashionable aerobics tights.
Morning, honey.
Oh, Wes, this is Ken Luckman. He's an astrophysicist with a doctorate in fluids. We met jogging this.
Hi, Ken. Hun, you're never going to guess who called me.
A pause while Olson waits for a response. Silence.
Bill York, my old partner. How about that?
He opens the refrigerator door and peers in.
Anything to eat? I am famished. 2 more days, and it's over. Those 20 years went fast.
As Olson drones on, his wife is hand-feeding Ken pieces of toast. A grate, maybe a strip of bacon. They nuzzle, caress. It gets pretty heavy.
First, pounding the beat, then riding the desk, finally making detective. And all the time, you know what kept me going? Can you guess? That's right, honey buns, my family. That's why retirement's gonna be so great. More time for us to share. Well, I'll get something on the way. See you tonight, hun.
He pulls his head from inside the refrigerator. It's covered with frost. An icicle dangles from his nose. Olson looks around. His wife and Ken have disappeared. Exterior Olson house. Olson crosses to his car. As he drives away, the construction workers drop their tools. Hotfoot is over to his house and start up to the rope ladder to his daughter's room. Exterior street, Olson's car. Stopping for a light, a Jag convertible pulls up beside him. The driver answers his car phone. The driver honks and motions for Olson's attention.
You, Sergeant Olson?
Yeah?
It's for you.
The Jag driver leans across the seat, stretching the phone cord. Hands Olson the phone.
Yeah, this is Sergeant Olson. You sure? I'm on my way downtown to meet him. Damn. I'll be right there.
Olson tosses the phone into his back seat, flips on his siren, and takes off. The car phone line stretches out behind him until Olson tows the Jag through the frame. Exterior York's house day. Pretty crowded out front. Couple of police cars, an ambulance, a fire truck, an ice cream truck, a lunch wagon truck, a pushcart hot dog stand, a trailer truck hauling a stack of 6 cars, a cement truck, and a Wild West stagecoach. Olson arrives, parks, leads us past all of this. Yellow streamers cordon off the walkway. A police lab crew takes plaster casts under the windows, and Olson approaches a lab man.
Any footprints?
We're just pulling out the first casting.
He indicates 3 lab men hoisting a plaster cast out of the ground. It's perfect reproduction of the Venus de Milo.
Well, let me know if you find any footprints.
Labman nods and Olson heads for the house. Interior York's house day. Olson surveys the living room. Half a dozen cops mill about. Olson takes a deep breath. This is going to be a tough one for him. He approaches Irv, a plainclothes officer who is scratching his head and checking a notepad.
What you got, Irv?
Irv looks up, still scratching. In the background, cops are going through York's tape collection, taking what they want.
Beats me, Sarge. Dandruff, seborrhea, or maybe just dry, itchy scalp.
Have you tried this? It's what I use.
Head and shoulders. But you don't have dandruff.
I know.
Olson moves on, squats down beside a pale man in a black suit. This is Doc, the coroner. He's examining York's body. We can't see York's face. As Olson and Doc talk, 2 cops cordon off the area with yellow tape.
What are you looking at, Doc?
The worst dressed stiff I've ever seen.
During the conversation, cops dance under the limbo under the yellow streamer. They cheer each other on as the streamer is lowered.
That stiff and I pounded a beat together, so show a little respect.
I thought he was a private dick.
I was just a little irascible at times. Like York left the force 5 years ago. He's one hell of a cop.
Sorry, Wes. I see so much of this senseless mayhem, I sometimes get a little insensitive. Anyway, this loser took the chicken shit way out and punched his own ticket. 44 slug to the forehead, gun in the stiff's hand, still smoking.
Cigarettes will kill you.
No, the gun was still smoking.
Suicide, huh? Some caught herself by surprise.
And now we see York's face. It's frozen in a wide-eyed, open-mouthed look of surprise, and Doc hands Olson a box of cookies.
Found these on the floor beside him.
Wilderness Girl cookies.
Olson notices a piece of cardboard projecting from York's clenched fist, tries to pull it out and can't. York's hand is clenched in a vice grip.
Give me a little help here, Doc.
Doc tries prying the fist open. Olson grimaces at the cracking of bones. Stands. We play this on him reacting to the cracks. Snaps and off-screen grunts from Doc. Doc stands as though we can't see it. His body movement and the sound effects tell us he's stomping down on York's hand. Sounds like he's cracking walnuts underfoot. Olson grimaces. Doc bends down, comes up with a book of matches, and hands them to Olson.
Should have asked. I could have used my lighter.
Olson studies the matchbook. Squealer's Hotel. Asks about our discount rate for federal stoolies. Olson turns it over. Learn to draw at home in bold letters above the crude police composite of some serial killer. Olson pockets the matches, takes a step and is stuck like a fly in a web of yellow streamers. He hacks his way through. Crosses to the wall of photographs, takes down one of him and York, the 2 of them, as younger men at the police academy. Olson's head has been pasted on the body of a much younger man.
You knew him, Sarge?
I knew him. He was my partner.
Irv, still fully clothed, is shampooing his hair. His head is a mass of suds, and he's vigorously massaging.
Sorry, Sarge.
Olson pats Irv's shoulder. He appreciates the sentiment and heads for the door.
Hey! I can feel it tingling.
Olson, from the door, giving Irv a thumbs up.
Good. That means it's working.
Olson exits. Exterior beach sunset. A red orb of sun slips into the ocean. Reed steps into frame, watches the sunset, placid. He's knee deep in the water. Pant legs rolled up, a truck rumbles off screen. Reed turns to the sound. A garbage truck with an Acme medical waste stenciled on its side backs down to the beach in the water's edge. It begins dumping its load into the surf. Bottles, old cash, syringes, body bags, and objects we'd prefer not to identify. Reed turns and walks out of the water. He's wearing his socks and shoes, and the water has left an oil slick on his legs. A couple of hypodermic needles, a plastic 6-pack ring, and a styrofoam fast food container cling to the soil. Reed heads towards a small battered trailer home squatting on the beach. Interior trailer night. Reed enters. It's palatial. It's massive. Marble floor, arch ceilings, sweeping staircase, chandeliers, overstuffed designer furniture. Reed takes a crumpled cigarette from a crumpled pack, sticks it in his mouth, pushes a button from a well-stocked bar, glides out of the wall. He mixes a drink, pours a bottle of Myers 151 rum into the huge glass, followed by a bottle of Jack Daniels, followed by a bottle of something else, and topped with a bottle of Guinness. Reed sips his concoction gingerly. Something's missing. He adds a drop of creme de menthe, sips again. That's it. He gulps the whole drink down, picks up a framed photo, drops to the sofa, gazes numbly at the photo.
Claire, Claire, oh God, I miss you.
He sobs, brings the picture to his face, and smothers it with kisses.
I'm trying, Claire. I'm trying. God knows. It's too hard without you.
He chokes back tears, breathes deeply, fighting the torment. It's a losing battle. He lifts a pistol to his head, holds it in front of his face, trembles. The intensity in his eyes is chilling as he pulls back the hammer. Squeezes the trigger, slowly. All sound, all movement, but the slow squeezing of that trigger, suspended. Click, a flame pops out of the nose of the gun. Reed lights his cigarette, looks down at it. The picture, a Rottweiler.
Totally do this. I'll find them, Claire. I'll find the bastards that got you.
A tear plops onto the photo, followed by cigarette ashes. Exterior Beverly Hills mansion night. Vulgar excess of Christmas decorations. We rap version of Here Comes the Santa Claus escapes from the house. Interior mansion living room. 3 teddy-clad bimbos drape themselves around a sleazy man in a sleazy smoking jacket sitting at a white baby grand piano. This is Phil McCracken. In background, on big screen TV, a rap singer dressed as Santa performs along with his attractive Santa's helpers. Phil drowns him out, plays piano, and he and his bimbos sing.
Silent night, holy night, all is calm, all is bright.
Crack! The front door is smashed open. Jigsaw stands in the doorframe. Little Armani suit, big attitude. Phil jumps up, bimbos cower.
What the hell?
The appearance of a second man in the doorway stops him cold. General Kurtz Mortars, tall, lean, hard, retired army. He exudes covert missions.
Oh, General.
Phil, ladies.
Mortars calmly surveys the room, crosses to a large aquarium, bends. Instead of a diver decoration, there is a plastic Exxon gas pump and attendant. Mortars taps the glass.
Scallops.
No, piranha.
Mortars smiles.
Their lives exude a beautiful simplicity, savage, ruthless, existing only to devour and destroy, to taste blood, to rend flesh. Sort of like me, right, Phil?
Phil is too busy going pale to respond. Mortar smiles at Phil then, and in case we still had any doubts about him being a psycho, Mortar suddenly thrusts his head into the tank. The tank explodes in a cloud of gravel and churning water. Mortars removes his head, unscathed. In his mouth, a piranha. Flapping helplessly, he spits it out.
In its own environment, the piranha is a ferocious killer. In mine, just a helpless little fish. There's a lesson to be learned from that, don't you think?
Phil has that Linda Blair about to puke green crap look. Mortars plugs in a hairdryer and blow dries his hair.
Phil, I have a concern that's inhibiting my Yuletide spirit. It seems certain information was shared with an individual who might have jeopardized our cookie operation. While we've eliminated this individual, we have yet to recover a very important item.
Oh, General, I didn't know York was an ex-cop, I swear.
Where's the microfilm, Phil?
I don't know. When I gave it to him, I thought he was one of your men.
Act in haste, repent in leisure.
But he who hesitates is lost.
Never judge a book by its cover.
What you see is what you get.
A beat. Mortars is irked. Then he smiles. He's got one.
Loose lips sink ships.
Phil panics.
Life is very short, and there is no time for fussing and fighting, my friend.
Mortars looks to Jigsaw, who puts out a copy of Bartlett's Familiar's quotations. Checks it. Looks up. Shakes his head. No. Mortar smiles. It's chilling. Phil starts weeping.
Sorry, Phil, no good. You've been careless, sloppy. We just can't have that. Now, where's the microfilm?
I don't know. I swear.
A bimbo hands Phil a tissue and Mortars turns to Jigsaw.
Mr. Jigsaw.
Jigsaw produces a massive weapon.
Goodbye, Phil. Sorry I can't stay. Other parties, other obligations. You know how it is this time of year.
Mortar turns and exits. Jigsaw screws the silencer onto the barrel of his pistol. Phil, up to his waist in spent tissue, tries to back away, stumbles. The bimbos scatter, screaming. On Jigsaw, he fires. Piff, piff. On TV set, rap singer and helpers in sleigh. Over this, we hear gunshots, shattering glass, an incoming missile, barnyard noises. Then silence. Then machine gun fire. Silence. Chainsaw. Silence. Another angle. Through the clearing smoke, we see the room is totally destroyed. The rap singer is draped over a sleigh, dead, but Phil and his bimbo stand in the middle of the room, untouched.
Man, you're a really bad shot.
Jigsaw shoves an old-fashioned pirate ship cannon into frame, lights the fuse. Big explosion, followed by a series of thuds.
Practice makes perfect.
Interior Beverly Hills Police Department day. It looks more like an ad agency than a police department, immaculate and high-tech. At the booking desk, a sign, express lane, 10 misdemeanors or less, and beneath the sign, a line of yuppie offenders. Cellular phones, sunglasses, beepers. Olson saunters by on the way to the squad room. He passes a couple talking with a police artist.
No, he had fuller lips.
The artist makes the changes, and now we see he's working with Mr. Potato Head. He substitutes wide red lips for narrow pink lips.
Perfect.
Another part of the squadron. Olson joins a group of Armani'd officers who watch a cop named Dooley struggle to free himself from a straitjacket. Dooley's beet red, sweating profusely, and some of the cops watching are being fitted by tailors.
We make it very tight to show off manhood. Do you dress to the right or to the left?
Give it up, Dooley.
Dooley shakes his head. Never.
What's going on?
Dooley here bet us he'd escape in 15 minutes.
How long's it been?
Hour and a half.
Better step it up, Dooley.
If this is more loud than intelligible, that's fine, because this is Captain Murphy, the department's resident screamer. He makes the Detroit captain and Beverly Hills cop seem looted out.
You think crime is taking a holiday? Think again.
The officers scatter for their desks, even me, even Dooley. Olson falls in beside Murphy.
What the hell do you want, Olson?
I want the York case.
There is no York case. It was a suicide.
They stop by a coffee machine.
Coffee?
No, thanks.
Murphy takes another step to his right, revealing a restaurant-sized cappuccino espresso machine.
Cappuccino? Espresso?
Olson shakes his head no.
Well, what the hell do you want? You think you run a goddamn restaurant here? Well, think again.
Murphy takes a couple more steps, revealing the buffet table laid out with everything from croissants to sushi. He starts loading the plate.
I don't think it was a suicide. York was onto something.
Oh, something is more like it. These Wilderness Girl cookies are laced with cocaine.
That figures. York left me a message. He'd uncovered a drug running operation. I think that's what got him killed.
They enter Murphy's office. Interior Murphy's office, country pine trendy. A picture of Dan Quayle hangs on the wall. Effects spews out wanted photos that look like actors' headshots.
Your days from retirement. Let it go.
Let it go? Look, Bill York was a partner, a friend. I owe it to him. I owe it to every cop who ever walked a beat, whoever made a bust, whoever put their life on the line.
Wait a minute. I'm the captain. I do all the yelling. But if it means that much to you, take the damn case.
Thanks, Chief.
Don't be so fast to thank me, Olson, because you're going to be naked on this one. It's all on the line for you. People are going to be watching. Blow it, and you're going down. Screw it up, and you'll be hung out to dry. Drop the ball, and you'll be left twisting in the wind. Fuck up, and you can kiss your pension goodbye. Embarrass the department, and your pants will be dancing with figs. Is that clear?
Everything with the pant fig thing. How much time have I got?
Hard stare from Murphy then.
That's up to you.
A Price is Right type game show hostess appears from off screen pushing a game show wheel. Instead of numbers, it has times, hours, minutes, blink of an eye. Olson swallows hard. The smiling hostess leads Olson to the wheel. He gives it a spin. Whirr. On Olson, nervously watching the spinning wheel. On Murphy, intent, sweat pouring into his eyes. The wheel. Numbers whirring past, 6 hours, 9 hours, 3 hours. The hostess, sweat pouring into her eyes, streaking her mascara. In doorway, cops squeezed together, Dooley still in the straitjacket, watching, sweat pouring into their eyes. Photo of Dan Quayle watching the wheel, sweat pouring into his eyes. On Olson, eyes closed. His eyelids are drawn on his eyelids are drawn two crude eyes. The wheel slowing, past 9.5 weeks, past high noon, past 3:10 to Yuma, closing in on, yes, 48 hours. The cops go wild. They cheer. Olson lets out a big sigh of relief. The hostess hugs him. Murphy shakes his hand. The cops disperse.
Nice spin.
Thanks, Chief.
Interior squad room. A racetrack like tote board posts odds on various police activity. Olson, York case. 3-1 flashes on the board. Pan down from the board to Murphy and Olson exiting Murphy's office.
One other thing, Narco's sending over one of their burnt out psychos to look into these wilderness Girl Scout cookies. I'm teaming him with you.
Captain, you know I work alone.
You get the case, you get Tyler Reed.
Suddenly, Olson freezes. He's seen something unnerving, starts to bolt across the room. Reed, who has just wandered into the squad room, cigarette dangling from his mouth, he has a lighter out, flame to the tip as Olson is on him, but Reed's quick. He flips Olson, lights his cigarette.
Put that thing out. Can't you read? No smoking. Think of my lungs. Don't be so self-centered. That's a disgusting habit.
Reed shrugs, stands. Officers rush forward, grab Reed, pull the cigarette out of his mouth.
Back off. That's Olson's new partner.
Silence. Then all the officers race to a bank of pari-mutuel betting windows. The tote board, where the odds on Olson quickly changed from 3-1 to 100-1. Olson shakes his head in total disgust.
You know, there's someone you should talk to if this case involves cookies.
Olson and Reed both react. This is something you don't want to hear.
No, not him.
Murphy nods. Yes, him. Interior cell area, bleak. Silence of the Lambs, bleak. In fact, if we can get that set, all the better. An attendant dressed in white holds a metal door open for Olson and Reed. As they pass,
You know the rules. Do not touch the glass. Do not pass him any sharp instruments. Make sure you stay to the left when you walk down the hall. He's in the last cell.
Reed and Olson enter the main cell area. Attendant closes door. Something dawns on him, something that panics him. He swings the door open and shouts.
The right! I meant to say the right!
Interior cell area. Too late. Olson is being strangled by a pair of hairy hands reaching out from between the bars. Reed pounds on them with a gun, but they release Olson. They walk on the right. In dimly lit cells with obvious nameplates they pass, Mike Tyson, Leona Helmsley, Charles Keating, Mike Milken, Danny Bonaducci. The last cell, glass front. 2 chairs outside. Hannibal Lecter look in terms of room and prisoner. Same somewhat oddly aloof meets toying prissiness in attitude and posture. Name, Harold Lecter. Reed and Olson stand uncomfortably against the far wall, piercing look.
Please sit.
Slowly they sit.
I need to ask you some questions.
There's someone out there again, isn't there? A bad boy with cookies.
Yes, he...
Lecter halts him with a raised hand, sniffs the air.
Old Spice. You wear that sometimes, don't you? But not today. Today it's methyladium, deep heat rub. And your 3rd grade teacher was Miss Dobbins. And you suffer from gastritis, and that mole on your right shoulder has been bothering you. Your herpes is acting.
We're here to talk about the cookies.
Lecter smiles.
Perhaps Mr. Reed holds the key.
Reed registers surprise.
Surprised, I know your name. Don't be. I know all about you. Know that you must look into yourself for an answer to the cookie concern. Look to a man you were involved with.
Reed cocks his head in a puzzled, let me think about this sort of way. A flashback. Beautiful stretch of sun-drenched beach, pounding turquoise surf, frolicking beachgoers. And the surf line, running along holding hands, comes Reed and a man who looks like he's served some hard time.
No, not him.
Reed snaps out of a flashback.
It was in Vietnam.
A flashback, a beautiful stretch of sun-drenched beach, pounding surf, bombs bursting in air. Running at water's edge is Reed, holding hands with a Vietnamese man. They frolic out of frame.
Hot 10 row.
No, no. I'm disappointed in you. It was Mortars. General Mortars.
Again, Reed snaps out of the flashback.
Mortars?
A flashback, the same beautiful beach we saw a moment ago. And here comes Reed running hand in hand through the surf with Mortars.
Wait a minute. I never.
Out of flashback.
I didn't mean that kind of involvement.
Oh.
You were under his command.
Reed nods, jaw tight.
Look to him, and when you find him, I would love to eat his cookies with some fava beans and a nice chilled fresca.
Exterior Beverly Hills Police Department day. Valets drive up patrol cars for waiting officers. Olson and Reed exit the building. On the way out, they pass a suspect escorted by 2 officers. The suspect is a living Mr. Potato Head, complete with plastic features, an exact match for the police rendering we saw earlier. Olson hands a parking stub to a valet. As they wait,
We gonna see Mortars?
Probably is some sadistic, mind-twisting, jumpsuit-wearing sociopath. I have a better lead than that.
You're making a mistake.
Let's get one thing straight. I've got 48 hours.
a passing valet interrupts.
47 hours, 39 minutes, Sarge.
Well, you have like enough breath. I'm out to find my ex-partner's killer. The only leads I have are a matchbook from the Squealers Hotel and a box of bad cookies. So I don't need some hotshot cowboy from Narco getting in my way.
Olson struck a nerve.
You're not the only one who's lost a partner. Claire and I rode together for 7 years.
Valet arrives with Olson's car, and Olson tips him as they get in the car.
Bill York and I started at the academy together. Partner for 5 years. Before that, we dodged the draft together. Before that, we played high school football together. Before that, we were in grade school together. Before that, we breastfed together.
Interior Olson's car. Reed reacts, then tosses the dry cleaning on the passenger seat out of the car.
What happened to your partner?
The hell of it is, I don't know. I came home one night and she was gone.
She was living with you?
Hell, she used to sleep at my feet and lick my toes.
Guess if people learn that kind of stuff. I mean, I think it's a mistake getting involved with a partner like that.
Olson starts driving.
Hey, you're not trying to get involved with a partner who saves your life 1 minute and nuzzles your crotch the next, huh?
Olson reacts and clears his throat.
Well, Bill and I didn't have that kind of relationship. But we did hold hands at the movies once.
Now Reed reacts.
And after he quit the force, we didn't get together that much. When we did, Bill was always excited to see me.
Claire was excited to see me. She'd pee on my shoes.
Sounds stress related. What do you think happened to her?
Maybe she just took off. I hadn't been paying enough attention to her. I realized how neglected she felt the night she shit in my shoes.
Olson shoots Reed a quick look.
I guess I'm lucky. My wife just throws things.
But my gut tells me, as we were getting too close to someone, and whoever it was, they're gonna pay.
Reed has fished a crumpled cigarette out of his crumpled pack.
Mind if I smoke?
Yes.
Guess Reed doesn't care because he lights up the cigarette with the car lighter, shakes the lighter as if he were putting out a match, and tosses it in the back seat. Exterior Olson's car moving. The back seat bursts into flames. Exterior Squealers Hotel day. What a dump! On the street of dumps. Bars, flop houses. Olson's car pulls to the curb. Backseat still smoldering, roof singed. Reed and Olson hop out. Interior Squealers Hotel day. Dark, dank, a couple of chairs spilling their stuffing. Reed and Olson head for the front desk.
All right, look, I'm handling this, Reed. And I do things one way, and that's by the book. You don't like it? Get off the bus.
I'd ask.
Olson spins around.
What was that? Did you say something?
Reed shakes his head no, and Olson turns around. Reed mutters.
Pencil neck.
Olson spins around, glares. Reed shrugs, and Olson turns around.
Footed.
Olson spins around again, wags a warning finger at Reed, turns and heads for the registration desk. A fat man in a dirty t-shirt stands behind the desk. As soon as he sees Olson and Reed,
What is it with you guys? I run a respectable place. What are you rousting me for? I got friends downtown. I don't know what you're talking about.
We haven't said anything yet.
What's the beef? Why hassle me? You cops are all alike. Can't give an ex-con a break. Always busting our chops. I don't have to tell you a thing.
Park the tongue, fat stuff. I'm Sergeant Reed. This is Sergeant Olson.
the fat man appraises Reed and doesn't think much of what he sees, turns to Olson.
You look like a sensible, sensitive, by-the-book, hardworking guy. It must be difficult coping with this burned-out, reckless husk of a man, constantly having to engage in frivolous wordplay and witty banter. Explain to your associate that I'm an innocent.
Yeah, like Jessica Hans an innocent.
Do you know a man named Bill York?
Olson searches for something in an inside jacket pocket. He removes 3 or 4 videotapes, a couple of reels of 35mm film, a couple of large oil paintings, and finally a half dozen framed 8x10 photos. He selects an 8x10 photo, lays it on the counter. It's another phony-looking, pasted-on head, airbrush job of him and York in uniform. The fat man points to York in the photo.
That him?
No, that's his picture.
Never seen him before.
We're not getting anywhere like this. Let me accidentally beat the shit out of him.
Gunshots from upstairs. Reed and Olson exchange concerned looks and head for the stairs. On the stairs, Reed and Olson start up. A thug races down the stairs, fires a few shots over his shoulder at a pursuing cop. As the cop runs past,
You know anything about the Bill York murder?
Nah, try the second floor.
Wait. I can sell you info on the Fiduci gang. Cheap. How about a little taste of the Barbara Bush, Dan Quayle thing?
they shake him off as more cops and thugs run past, exchanging gunfire. Interior second floor corridor. 2 uniformed cops, pistols out, are pressed against the wall. 2 plainclothes cops, badges dangling from their jacket pockets, move cautiously towards a door. As Olson and Reed approach, all hell breaks loose. 2 punks leap from another room and open fire on the cops. Chaos. Reed and Olson approach a uniformed cop.
Excuse me, is this the Bill York informant shootout?
I just got here. Wait a sec. Larry. Hey, Larry.
Larry can't hear him over the gunfire. The cop fires a shot that Larry that whistles past his ear, and he spins around.
Larry, is this the Bill York informant shootout?
Nah, check 3.
Olson and Reed nod their thanks. Interior 3rd floor. As Olson and Reed arrive, they're greeted by an FBI agent in a dark suit, gun in hand.
Beat it. This is an FBI case. Bring them on out.
A door opens and 2 FBI agents lead out 3 informants. The informants' faces are concealed by those little video squares used to conceal identities on TV news shows.
They the Bill York informants?
Get your act together. That's Becker 403.
Interior 4th floor. Dimly lit, Olson and Reed pass a cop kicking in a door. A man ducks out of a doorway and races down the hall.
Hey, you! Not so fast.
The man slows to a walk.
That's better.
They reach 403. Reed draws his gun and pounds on the door.
Open up, Becker, please!
Becker answers with a hail of gunfire. Light streams through the bullet holes arranged in the shape of an FU.
You tried it your way. Now I'll try it mine.
Olson knocks gently on the door.
Room service.
A beat.
Just a second.
Locks are unlocked. The door inches open a crack, and Reed puts his shoulder to it, propelling Becker back into the room. Interior Becker's room, small, green walls, unmade bed, bare light bulbs dangling from the ceiling. Becker is all angst in a bad blonde toupee. An elusive sushi sound creeps into the room. Slushing sound, sorry.
What? I don't know nothing. I didn't see nothing. I ain't saying nothing.
The word is nothing. Not nothing. There's an ing at the end. Nothing.
Nothing. Nothing. Okay? All right.
That's better. That's not what you told Bill York.
Fear flickers in Becker's eyes.
I don't know no Bill York. So you guys aren't room service.
Olson sighs.
No, and please no double negatives.
Sorry, I don't know any Bill York.
These matches say you're lying.
Becker takes the book of matches, opens it. You're lying is written on the inside cover. Becker shifts uncomfortably.
York? Oh, yeah, right. Okay, got him, yeah.
The night he died, he was going to meet you here. Why?
It's where I live.
Yeah, but why you?
The other guy couldn't come up with his security deposit.
What do you know about the case he was working on?
Case? What case?
Reed suddenly opens a closet door, revealing the source of the noise, a washing machine in which turns gobs of money. Becker squirms, sweats, gulps, hyperventilates.
Okay, all right, okay. You see, I did some money laundering for your standard ex-military psychotypes.
Reed shoots Olson a look.
Give us a name.
Yeah, okay, sure. But you gotta understand, it's a big, real thing. Bigger than a bread box. There's nothing you can do about it. They're too powerful, too strong, too je ne sais quoi.
And protect you.
The instant Olson utters those words, gunfire shatters the window.
La comédie!
Becker topples over.
It's the last time I'll trust a cop.
And now Reed's on the move. He leans out the window, fires a helicopter that banks away. Reed's intense, totally focused, and then
Oops.
the helicopter sweeps from frame, revealing a Piper Cub. Rear end smoking, spiraling to earth. Reed clears, whistles innocently as he steps away from the window. Exterior Squealers Hotel day. Becker looking up at Olson, tight on Becker's head.
Be straight with me. Is this it? The big checkout? How bad is it? Level with me.
It's not bad. You'll be fine. Back on your feet in no time.
Olson nods off screen. A hand reaches in and pulls up a zipper covering Becker's face. We discover that as they hoist him up, he's in a body bag. They load Becker into a waiting hearse. Exterior street, Olson's car. Olson drives. Reed does not look happy. Interior, Olson's car moving.
You know, like it or not, I'm your partner. You're supposed to back me up. In case you didn't notice, we were being shot at.
Olson smolders. Reed's hit a nerve. He gestures to Olson's empty shoulder holster.
Where's your piece?
She's home.
Not that one. I mean your standard 6-incher. You the one those cops keeps holstered around his ankle?
No, but sometimes I hold it at night when I feel lonely.
Reed gives Olson a sideways glance.
I'm talking about your gun.
I don't believe in them. What's this traffic?
It's at a bumper-to-bumper horn-honking standstill.
Well, when you decide you want to be a real cop.
And Reed lifts up both pant legs, revealing a veritable arsenal taped to his ankles and calves, some still with the price tags on. Olson just shakes his head. Reed lowers the pant legs, radio squawks.
Olson, this is 1 Adam 12.
Interior, another police car. Martin Milner and Kent McWhorter in blue. Kent on the mic.
1 Adam 12, 1 Adam 12. Do you read me?
Interior, Olson's car. Olson on the radio.
I read you.
Interior, 1 Adam 12.
We have a
Martin jerks the mic away.
Mind if I have a little dialogue? We have a code 11, corner of 10th and 9th. Do you copy?
Interior, Olson's car. Olson turns to a copy machine occupying the back seat, runs a copy, removes a piece of paper with the dispatcher's dialogue on it.
Adam 12, we copy. Let's go.
Reed puts the dome light on the roof. Olson turns on the siren, swerves up the sidewalk to maneuver around traffic. They swing around the corner, passing the source of the traffic jam. A Piper Cub is nose down in the middle of the intersection. The pilot is arguing with a cop, gesturing to the heavens. The cop ignores him as he writes up a ticket. Exterior, Phil McCracken's house stay. A police barricade restrains gawkers. Vendors work the crowd, selling beer, popcorn, and programs. Valets park the police cars. Olson and Reed drive up, turn the car over to a valet.
Don't bury me. I'm only going to be a few minutes.
Interior house, lots of activity, cops milling about. Olson and Reed enter. Police photographers snap pictures.
Looks like there's two trying to make a getaway.
Two of the bodies lie on the floor, covered by sheets. Two others are also covered by sheets, but they're upright, posed statue-like in running positions. Dooley, still in the straitjacket, hops over to them.
New partner?
No thanks, I already have one.
Me too.
Dooley whistles. A huge slobbering dog spraying snot all over Los Angeles bounds up to Dooley.
This is sport.
Sport leaps up on Reed, front paws on his shoulders, slobbering face nose to nose with Reed.
She likes you.
I've done worse.
What are we looking at here?
A mixed breed, Rottweiler and um and, what did I say it
Chihuahua?
again? Oh yeah, yes. Thank you. I'm sorry. I guess they use some kind of lubricant.
I mean, the case.
Oh, male, Caucasian, 32, 33, bullet to the forehead, 3 females, 36, 24, 36.
And their ages?
Sport reminds me of a girl I once knew.
A real dog, huh?
I loved that bitch.
Don't go getting misty. Sport's very insensitive down, sport. Hey, sit, sport. Heel, sport.
On heel, Sport spins away from Reed, clamps up his jaw around the heel of Dooley's right foot, and drags him out of frame. Reed crosses to the white baby grand piano, and Olson crosses to Irv, the plainclothes cop who sits on the arm of a sofa, checking his notebook.
What you got, Irv?
Not sure, Charge.
Irv slips off a shoe, his right foot bursts into flame.
It's a nagging, itching, burning sensation.
What the hell do you expect? Your foot's on fire.
Olson moves on, angle on Reed. At the piano, he taps a few keys, sits. Now Reed really gets into his piano playing. He looks down at the keyboard and a pair of hands playing. We've probably suspected that when actors sit down to play the piano, they're not really playing. This confirms those suspicions because these are definitely not Reed's hands. If Liberace were alive, they'd be his. Multi-ring, frilly cuffs, sequin sleeves. On Reed, body swaying, eyes closed, pounding out an overbearing, overarranged Phil Spector type intro. On hands, dancing along the keyboard in a direction that has nothing to do with Reed's body movement. Reed sings a gut-wrenching teen tragedy type song that is sure to include lyrics something like,
Oh, Claire, can you see me? Oh, Claire, can you hear me? Are you somewhere above? And I'm still your one true love.
Everyone is crowded around the piano, providing an ooh-ah background chorus.
You hate these cornball songs, don't you?
He turns to a uniformed officer beside him. The guy is crying like a baby. Olson shakes his head and moves off to Irv, who stands beside the widescreen TV. A chalk outline of the rap singer sprawled across his sleigh has been drawn over the screen.
Ever got anything else?
Nothing solid. Found a half key of Coke. It looks like they were having a little party.
In the background, officers carry out a rack of Wilderness Girl uniforms. Olson and Irv cross to a wall of paintings, Monets, Manets, Cézannes, Kugerts.
Any prints?
No, these are originals.
Not much to go on. Any theories?
E equals MC squared.
Any of your own?
An officer passes in front of them carrying a bloody chainsaw. The sounds of turn them around. At the piano, Reed is surrounded by Ray Charles girls. They sing that refrain. Reed sips from a Pepsi sitting on the piano. Room is getting into this. Olson shakes his head in disbelief. Reed finishes playing and nods to a young couple. The man stuffs a couple of bucks into a tip-filled glass on the piano. The couple wanders off. Reed empties the glass of tips into his pocket, looks around, frowns. Something's caught his attention. Reed crosses to the fish tank, bends down, picks up a half-eaten box of Wilderness Girls cookies, slips them under his jacket. Now Reed spots something in the tank. A ring, half buried in the sand, insignia of the face. Reed finds a fishnet, dips it into the tank, the piranha converge, water churns. Reed pulls out a net, it's been devoured down to a half a stem. Reed thinks for a beat, spots a young officer, motions him over.
Would you give me a hand?
The young officer eagerly crosses to Reed. On Olson and Irv, walking across the room together past Reed to the eager young officer. In the background, we see an officer tentatively put his hand into the tank, and he suddenly jerks forward, slamming into the top of the tank.
Gun was found in the stiff's hand. Also found a suicide note.
But you found nothing to make you suspect foul play.
Pretty much ruled it out. Looks like another suicide.
They reach the bodies and stop walking.
I don't know. It sure looks like a suicide, but my gut tells me there's something else here.
During this, a puzzled Herb has been counting the off-screen bodies, mouthing 1, 2, 3.
Weren't there 4 stiffs? Damn, McCracken's missing.
Herb takes off, shouting the room in general.
Hey! Hey! Anyone seen McCracken's body?
Reed approaches Olson.
Come with me. I've got something to show you, partner.
As they start to the door, they pass the eager young officer. The tattered right sleeve of his uniform is soaking wet and stuck into the waist of his pants, suggesting his right arm is missing.
Thanks for the help, Lefty.
The young officer gives Reed the thumbs up. Exterior house. Olson and Reed descend the stairs. On the front lawn, Sport frantically digs a huge hole. The Kraken's body sprawls beside the hole, and Sport starts to bury it.
So what's the big news?
That'll put a whole new light on this case.
Reed produces the ring. A beam of light, as if sent from the heavens, highlights it.
This ring was given out to a CIA front in Nam, run by a General Motors. When the VC tried financing the war with cocaine, they went in and burned it. After the war, some guys went into the drug business for themselves. I always suspected Motors was behind it, but couldn't prove it.
A valet races up and takes Olson's parking ticket, runs off for their car. We'll track him in the background.
Where'd you get that?
Inside.
You took evidence from the scene of a criminal investigation?
Look, you want to crack this case or not?
Not by making up the rules as I go.
Sometimes, pal, those are the only rules that work.
The valet starts Olson's car, and kaboom! It explodes. A beat.
Well, good thing we used valet parking.
There's a line of taxis across the street. Drivers lean against them, talk. Reed whistles for a driver's attention. The driver of the first cab hops into his taxi and starts it, and kaboom! It explodes.
Guess we're making somebody nervous. Well, it'll make more than a couple of car bombs to get us off this case.
Not a hell of a lot more.
Reed and Olson start walking. In the background, cops chase Sport, who's zigzagging across the lawn, dragging McCracken by the leg. Interior Mortar's office day. Not your typical office. Desk in front of a huge wall fan through which pours cylinders of light, exposed pipe, dripping water, smoke, and over-atmosphered set piece. Mortar stands at his desk. In the shadows, another man. Streaks of light barely illuminating his face. Across the desk stand 3 drug dealers wearing matching shades. Plastic bags of white powder lay on the desk.
Understand, gentlemen, if you wish to do business with us, you must take the entire shipment.
Test the merchandise.
Dealer number 2 takes out a knife, slits open the bag to test the drugs. On Mortars.
The shipment will be prepared and boxed on Friday night. It will be ready for shipping Saturday morning. Please have payment ready. The merchandise is satisfactory, yes?
On drug dealers, dealer number 3 nods his head. Only now it has a skeleton hand with smoke coming out what used to be his ears. He still wears the shades.
Then we can do business.
Exterior Mortars office building. Looks like a normal office building from the exterior. Reed and Olson enter. Hold the door for the 3 drug dealers. Don't react to Mr. Skeleton Head. As they enter,
Step out of line here, Reed, and I'm walking.
interior Mortars office. Mortar stands as Reed and Olson are led in by Jigsaw.
Well, Tyler, long time no see. You wish to ask me some questions, yes?
What I wish is to put you away for so freaking long that you'll be painting landscapes with your teeth.
A beat.
I don't know what that means, but it resonates with police harassment.
It sure does, and frankly, I am as appalled as you are, General.
I bet not as appalled as York and McCracken when they woke up dead.
Should I know those names?
You and one of those psychos, loose cannons you've got working for you turn them into mulch.
Loose cannons? Hardly, Mr. Reed. My people are disciplined and fiercely loyal. Mr. Jericho.
The large man in the shadows steps forward, Mr. Jericho. And now we see the slashes of light and dark across his face are not product of the window blinds. Jericho has a striped face. He also has a heavily bandaged left hand.
Do you like cookouts, Mr. Reed?
Flashback. Reed and Claire are on the beach by hibachi. Claire holds a can of starter fluid in her mouth and squirts some on the charcoal briquettes. Reed tosses a match on the charcoal. Poof! Big ball of flame. Smoke clears and both Reed and Claire have had their eyebrows and hair singed off. They both wear bald caps. Out of flashback.
You can take them or leave them.
Give me your hibachi.
Reed frowns, shrugs, reaches out a frame and lifts up a hibachi filled with glowing red coals and places it on the desk.
Your hand, Mr. Jericho.
Without flinching, Jericho places his right hand on the hot grill. It sizzles. Olson flinches. Mortars takes a couple of hamburger patties out of a desk drawer and drops them on the grill. They sizzle too. Olson looks ill. During this,
Is the loyalty and discipline of my people still in doubt, Mr. Reed?
Olson swoons, faints, thud.
If memory serves me, discipline and loyalty are unfamiliar attributes to you.
Mortars cocks his head. Flashback. Vietnam jungle. Driving rain. Mortars in army fatigues and armed to the teeth pushes through the foliage. Two equally armed soldiers trail behind. Mortar stops. A look of contempt crosses his face.
I thought I'd find you here.
And now we see the object of his scorn, Tyler Reed. Dressed exactly as he is now, hiding up in a tree, the ground below him is littered with empty bottles of booze and fast food containers. Reed and Mortars both wear very bad toupees to make them appear younger.
Bullshit.
Out of flashback. Reed's clothes are soaking wet. He's wearing a bad toupee. It's wet too. Jericho's face is turning bright red and his eyes are beginning to bulge.
It's my flashback, Tyler. I'll remember it any way I want.
Mortar turns the hamburgers. Reed.
You can deny the past, but you can't deny this. It was found at the scene of the McCracken murder.
Mortars munches on hamburger with the works. From somewhere off screen, he's getting French fries, and Olson struggles up.
Oh, yes, I lost that a few months ago, didn't I, Mr. Jericho?
Jericho nods frantically. Smoke curls out from under his shirt collar.
And now, gentlemen, I'm bored.
Mortars pushes a button under the desk. Instantly, a small army of men file in. First, men in suits and dark glasses. Then ninjas, sumo wrestlers, Lakers, prize fighters, Hulk Hogan, football players in full gear, tubeless hockey players wearing skates.
Would you please show Mr. Reed out?
Exterior Mortars building, day. Reed flies through a wall of lobby glass, hits the sidewalk hard. Two Lakers peer down at him.
Olson, how about a little help here?
You wanted to do things your own way? You want to break all the rules? Well, this is what happens.
Olson? You the Olson on Akron?
Olson nods yes. The Lakers smile at each other. Leave. Olson looks puzzled. Reed pulls himself up. Olson steps off the curb and starts to hitchhike. Reed joins him.
Tell you, Mortars is in on this. First Lecter fingers him, and now you saw firsthand. He's nuts.
Not as nuts as Jericho.
A car passes, stops, honks. Reed and Olson jog towards it. Off-screen, explosion. A car hood drops at their feet. A beat. They turn around and resume hitchhiking. Interior Olson's office. The squad room is visible through the glass wall and Reed is alone. He places a box of Wilderness Girl cookies on the desk. Angle on the door. Olson enters, watches Reed for a beat.
What do you think you're doing?
Running a little test.
Wide. The officer now looks like Dr. Frankenstein's lab. Test tubes, Bunsen burners, bubbling vats, flasks of colored liquids, and tubes running all over the place. A couple of white-coated lab assistants toy with tubing and gauges.
Give me those cookies, Reed. They're evidence.
Reed crumbles cookies into a test tube of clear liquid.
I give you these cookies, and they'll end up in some property room never to be seen again.
You're playing out some personal vendetta here, Reed, and saying to hell with the rules. Well, it's no good. If everybody did that, this country would be anarchy.
Beats bureaucratic fossilization.
Are you challenging the tenets of a pluralistic society based on the precepts of democratic principles?
No, I'm saying that due process and self-determination have been sacrificed on the altar of a bureaucratic monolith arrested in a state of total systematic lassitude.
Take that back, Reed.
Over my dead body, Ace.
Olson leaps on Reed and the two men crash through the door. Interior squad room. Major fight ensues. Cops gather round, bets are placed, money exchanged. There's a distinct breakdown of the crowd. Neat, by-the-book cops cheering Olson on, and play by his own rules cops faded jeans and baseball jackets, smoking cigarettes and egging Reed on. Olson slugs Reed. Reed rolls over to the top of the desk. Then he's up, tumbling over another desk. Then another. In fact, he tumbles over a row of 10 desks before smashing into a wall. By-the-book cops cheer. Rebel cops grimace, hand over money. Reed rips the breast pocket off Olson's jacket. A bell rings. Reed and Olson drop into chairs opposite sides of the room. They are immediately surrounded by cops shouting advice. Slobbering dogs bark advice at Reed, too. The bell rings and Don King in referee stripes motions the fighters to the center of the office. Crowd cheers as the two combatants charge each other. Reed drives Olson across the room towards, that's right, the window. Crash! They fly through the window in a hail of glass. The cops race for the stairs. Exterior police station, a pool. Cops eat lunch and sun themselves around the pool. Some cops wearing bathing suits and shoulder holsters take target practice. Captain Murphy looks up from a buffet table to see two flailing bodies dropping in slow motion towards the pool.
Damn.
Olson and Reed slugging each other as they drop, wrapped in the window curtain. Interior stairwell. The entire squadron races down the stairs. Exterior of the pool. Now everyone is looking up, shocked. Olson and Reed, falling, fighting. The pool, a puddle of water below them. The pool. Cops race out of the building and they surround Murphy, who's ready to explode. They look up. Two obvious dummies fall. Hair pieces come off as they continue their slow motion flight, turning, twisting.
Good thing they're falling in slow motion, or we'd never made it.
Murphy glares at him. Olson and Reed, and they're not in slow motion now as they hurtle towards the pool and hit the diving board. They bounce back up. The cops head tilt up, tilt down, tilt up again as they follow the bouncing bodies, and they're hit by a wave of water as Reed and Olson finally splash into the pool. Olson and Reed go under and trapped in the window curtains. Reed pops up. He's got a tight grip on Olson, who has the window curtain wrapped around his head. Reed pounds on him. Olson stops resisting. Reed unwraps the curtain and discovers a young woman with strawberry blonde hair and a seashell bra. Startled, Reed releases her. She dives underwater, her fishtail making a big splash. Reed's been beating the crap out of the Little Mermaid.
Damn!
Reed turns to see Olson climbing out of the pool. Interior Olson's office. Reed and Olson enter, dripping wet. Cross to the fax. Olson removes his shirt as he talks.
I'm requesting a new partner. Reed.
The fax spits out a freshly laundered and pressed shirt. Olson slips it on.
What about that buddy bonding fight we just had? Didn't it mean anything to you?
Reed, I'm no rookie. I've had 12 of them, and now I'm too old for that shit.
Reed's at the lab table.
Then maybe this will mean something.
He holds up the test tube into which he crumbled the cookies, and the liquid has turned blue.
You're pregnant.
No, it's another batch of cocaine-laced cookies.
What are you saying? There's a connection to York's murder?
Give the man a cigar.
A hand juts into frame with a cigar and gives it to Olson.
Look, you're grasping at straws. What possible connection could there be between Bill York and a sleaze like McCracken?
Same MO. Same calibre weapon. Same brand of cookies. You tell me.
You're not playing with a full deck. That's what I'm telling you.
Meaning?
The cheese slid off your pizza.
Suggesting?
You're a couple of bricks shy of a full load.
Implying?
You tiles slid off your roof.
Insinuating?
Elvis has left the building.
During this, Olson puts a cigar in his mouth and pats down his pockets looking for a match.
Indicating?
Your cart's before your horse.
How the hell am I supposed to understand you when you mix metaphors like that?
Reed starts to leave.
Let's go. We have some wilderness girls to talk to.
As Olson reaches the door, an arm juts into frame again and lights Olson's cigar. He takes one puff, and it explodes.
I can't believe you fell for that old gag.
Exterior office building day. Century City, glass and steel. Big cookie sign announces Wilderness Girls of America. Reed and Olson enter the building. Interior building, elevator bank. A half dozen elevators. Reed and Olson wait.
Something else going on here, isn't there, Reed? This isn't just about cookies and cocaine. There's something between you and this Mortars.
I was investing in drug operation. Cocaine sold on streets disguised as pastries. Danish bear claw strudel. All laced with coke. Users turning up stoned and fat. Mortars was behind it.
During this, a janitor mops the lobby floor. Since he's wearing a dark suit and tie, dark glasses, and radio mic wire in his ear, we suspect the janitor is not his full-time occupation.
How do you know?
He was my CO in NAM. CIA said he was MIA, but the VA ID'd his MO and we put it on the APP.
Oh, I see.
The elevator arrives. Reed, Olson try to get on, but the doors start to close instantly. Olson thrusts his right arm between the closing doors to force them open. No dice. They shut on his arm. Olson is slowly lifted off the ground, and everyone looks up.
We'll wait for the next one.
The elevator. Olson's right jacket and shirt sleeve are missing. The janitor is beside Reed, still mopping, still listening.
So what happened?
Busted the operation in 3 days, but couldn't nail mortars. Next day, Claire disappeared. Coincidence? Maybe. Maybe Mortar's revenge? It won't be over between us until I nail the bastard.
Jeez, lighten up, man. Carry around all that anger, all that repressed hostility. It'll eat you up inside. You just gotta let it go.
He's right. Listen to him.
Interior 10th floor reception area. Elevator doors open. Olson, Reed, and the janitor get out. The janitor is trying to hold a glass to Reed's head as if it were a hotel room wall. Olson and Reed's pants are soaked up to the knees from his mopping. He trails behind them as they cross the receptionist, still mopping. Suddenly, Reed turns on the guy, grabs him by the front of the jacket, and slams him into the wall.
You think I didn't notice you, scuzzball? Think I don't know who sent you to spy on us?
Reed picks him up and hurls him across the office. The janitor's wallet goes flying out. Olson picks it up, examines the contents. Reed's demolition of the janitor is played out in the background, out of frame.
Think I don't know Mortar sent you?
The janitor goes tumbling through the frame. Olson slides some cards out of the wallet. Off screen crashes, scream, glass shatters. Reed saunters over to Olson.
Yeah, took care of that slime bucket.
Hell, looks like he wasn't with Mortars. He's with Internal Affairs.
Reed looks nervously over his shoulder. The reception area's window overlooking the city has shattered in the form of a human body. Reed looks away as they walk.
Internal Affairs after you?
Some crap about excessive force.
At the reception desk, we're seeing the receptionist from a low angle and from behind. She's all woman, great legs, great body. Olson and Reed arrive.
May I help you?
Reed's eyes widen.
It can't be. Not Mary O'Brien, that freckled-faced, buck-toothed, pigtailed little girl I knew in 5th grade.
Another angle. Yes, she is. At least she's got an ocean of freckles, Bugs Bunny, buck teeth, and ponytails.
No, I'm not. May I help you?
LAPD, we'd like to speak to whomever's in charge.
Olson flips open his wallet. His badge flies away like a ninja star. There's an off-screen scream followed by a thud. Interior executive office. The receptionist ushers Reed and Olson into a spacious office. It has a rustic cabin via Ralph Lauren look. Bowls of cookies everywhere. A wall of cookie boxes.
Miss Jones will be right with you, gentlemen. Help yourselves to some cookies.
She exits.
Let me do the talking. I've eaten these cookies.
You're the boss.
A side door opens. Destiny Jones makes her entrance. Attractive? Maybe. Drop dead gorgeous? No. A tad plump, pleasant face made a little severe by the glasses and tightly pulled back hair, but we sense a smoldering sexiness as she crosses the room to greet Reed and Olson.
Detectives Reed and Olson?
They shake hands. She shakes with Reed. Their eyes lock, linger. Chemistry?
Have a seat, Detective.
Yes, but we're not here to discuss that.
I mean, take a chair.
Thanks, but I have plenty at home.
Why don't you sit down and tell me what you want? Can I get either of you something to drink?
Olson sinks into a chair, knees nearly above his head, and Reed wanders around in the background.
Water's fine.
She crosses to a door.
We're investigating a felony, Miss Jones.
A felony?
She throws the door open, revealing a huge block of ice.
Sounds violent. I hate violence.
She picks up an ice pick and savagely attacks the block of ice. Close on the ice pick, slashing. Reed and Olson exchange a look. On Destiny, she turns smiling, 2 snow cones in her hand.
Who's for snow cones?
She steps forward to reveal a beautifully formed swan ice sculpture. Reed and Olson both take a cone.
Thank you. In the course of investigating 2 homicides, we found boxes of Wilderness Girl cookies. The cookies were laced with cocaine.
Oh my, that's horrible, but surely you can't suspect the Wilderness Girls somehow being responsible.
I can.
Reed moves the one box of cookies from the stack and the entire wall of cookie boxes topples, scatters. Reed ignores this.
Would you mind coming downtown to answer a few questions?
This is downtown?
Headquarters. You can have your attorney present.
Moving towards Reed,
Why would I need an attorney?
Reed starts to sweat, looks at her chest. It heaves, nipples pressing against the fabric of her blouse. Reed trembles. Nickel-sized sweat beads on his upper lip. Destiny's eyes gaze passionately. Her glasses fog up, lips part seductively, spinach between the teeth. Toothpick pries it out. Reed hyperventilates, pants, pours the ice cone over his head to cool down, and Destiny's nostrils flare.
Sorry
Trying to flare
about
my nostrils.
Sorry about messing up all your bosoms. I mean, boxes.
My pleasure. May I change before I go?
Sure.
Destiny removes her glasses, tosses them aside, bends her head, lets down her hair, shakes it so it cascades over her face. On Reed, reacting. Wide. Destiny shakes her head. Her hair swings away, revealing a different woman and obviously a different actress. A knockout. She's wearing the same dress, stands in the same spot, so we know it's Destiny, but what a change.
You should always wear your hair down.
For you, I always will.
You two know each other?
They both shake their heads. Exit. Wilson follows them. Interior interrogation room. No sense being shy about it. This is the interrogation room from Basic Instinct. Destiny sits in a chair in the middle of this high-tech, self-consciously lit room. 6 men question her, among them Irv, Reed, and Olson. Reed stands. The rest sit at tables. Everyone but Reed is neatly dressed. Destiny is cool. The man in the dark suit is the DA. Behind them is a bleacher full of men there to watch.
Do you run Wilderness Girls?
Yes.
Is your money raised selling cookies?
Yes.
Do you know General Mortars?
No.
That's 1 down, 9 to go.
Irv flips a cardboard card with the number 1 as the old quiz shows. Becker wanders into the interrogation room with a cup of coffee. Coffee? Everyone turns to look.
Don't look at me, really, do what you're doing. Really, I'm fine. We're working together, a team. Miss Jones, this is not a good time to lie. If this isn't a good time, what is?
I don't know the meaning of the word lie.
How about
this? I also had that line. Don't know that one either.
This is all very fast. One question right after the other.
Who was the last man to bat 400?
Ted Williams.
Translate the Greek phrase ex septem diast.
Into what?
Would you like a Bud Light?
That's not it.
Come on, cut her a break.
Destiny smiles. All the men have started to wilt. They all have their ties pulled down from their collars and their jackets off.
Do you know Bill York?
Who cares? Do you sleep in the nude?
On Destiny.
Only when I'm naked.
The men, they've wilted down to their t-shirts and briefs, sweat pouring off them, all except Reed, who keeps up steady eye contact.
How do you feel about the designated hitter rule?
Destiny angles towards Reed, uncrosses her legs as she answers.
I hate it. It undermines the purity of the game.
The men, some passed out in the stands, obviously wide-eyed reaction.
I like pure things. They give me pleasure.
Destiny. Only it's no longer Destiny sitting so calmly in the chair. It's a beaver, legs crossed, cigarette in one hand. Men.
I think we should delve into AstroTurf.
Wide.
We've detained Miss Jones long enough. You can go now. Sorry to have troubled you.
No trouble, detective, but I'll need a ride back.
A half-dozen men in race car driver's attire, complete with helmets, race out of the stands. Destiny takes Reed's arm. All the cops react. Exterior Wilderness Girls building. Olson drives up. Reed and Destiny get out and enter the building. Interior Destiny's office. Reed and Destiny enter. Palpable tension is in the air.
Well, Detective, thank you for bringing me back. It was nice meeting you.
Reed takes her hand, glances at her breast, then quickly looks away. Destiny is puzzled.
Nice meeting you too.
He backs out, closes the door. The moment they're gone, Jigsaw and Mortars enter from another door.
Well, my dear, I hope you gave a convincing performance.
Except for that ubiquitous thing, yeah.
Good. I believe we may have stumbled on the whereabouts of the microfilm. Now, Mr. Jigsaw perhaps might converse with our two police friends. Use your powers of persuasion to see if Bill York left them a memento.
Jigsaw smiles. Destiny appears concerned. Interior Wilderness Girls building elevators. Reed pushes the button. Waits. A maintenance man places a sign in front of the elevator. It reads, "Out of order, Reed. You better take the stairs." Reed calls after the man.
Thanks, I'll take the stairs.
Interior stairwell. Reed going down. Exterior Wilderness Girls building. Wilson looks at his wristwatch. Impatient. He gets out of the car. Interior service basement service area. Reed comes down the stairs and Jigsaw leaps out of the shadows. Reed spins around, hand reaching for his gun, looks down at the barrel of Jigsaw's massive weapon.
Drop your gun, Mr. Reed.
Reed's weapon rattles to the floor.
Who the hell are you?
I'm your worst nightmare.
Reed digests this for a beat. We dissolve into his thoughts. In a bedroom, Reed sleeps. Shafts of moonlight illuminate the room. There's a sound. Reed looks up. Someone's there, moving in the shadows. Reed sits up. Eyes go wide. There, dressed in flimsy negligee and crawling across the bed towards him is Roseanne Barr. Reed screams. On Jigsaw, in the hallway, he screams. Reed breathes deeply, trying to compose himself.
Okay, all right, I'm not your worst nightmare, but I'm right up there. Where's the microfilm?
Oh, God, that was horrible. What microfilm?
You insult me.
That's so insult. You're a slimy, half-pint bucket of worthiness oozing monkey puss with a kisser that scares starving dogs off meat truck. That's an insult. Hope I'm not turning you on.
Wilson bursts through the service doors.
What's going on here?
Meet Bill York's killer, coach.
Olson looks at Jigsaw.
York was killed by a hideous 3-year-old named Coach?
Drop your gun, Olson.
I'm not carrying one.
You're not carrying a weapon.
I don't believe in them.
Jigsaw kicks Reed's gun over to Olson.
Pick up the gun.
Olson picks up the gun.
Drop the gun, Olson.
Don't listen to him.
Drop it or I'll shoot your partner.
He's gonna shoot me anyway. If you drop it, we'll both be dead.
Olson, shaking, tries to steady the gun, levels it at Jigsaw. Flashback. A younger Olson wearing a bad hairpiece faces a crazed mime who holds an invisible gun to Bill York's head in an identical standoff situation. York's wearing an equally bad hairpiece.
Shoot him, Wes! Shoot him! Shoot him!
Olson panics, closes his eyes, turns his head, and fires. And an agonized scream reverberates in the blackness. Out of flashback. Reed and Jigsaw look at each other, then spin back to Olson.
Drop the gun.
Drop the gun.
Olson blinks the sweat out of his eyes, drops the gun. It discharges. The ricocheting bullet knocks the gun out of Jigsaw's hand. Jigsaw shoves Reed into Olson and races away. Exterior Wilderness Girls building, street. Jigsaw cuts across a 4-lane street. Reed and Olson race out the building's service entrance.
Stop!
Jigsaw spins around, fires at them. Reed drops to the ground, draws his weapon, and starts rolling. He shoots as he rolls and rolls and rolls out into the middle of the street, blasting away, blowing out car tires, drivers hit brakes, honk, swerve out of the way, lots of off-screen crashes and shattering glass. Reed rolls to a stop on the other side of the street, hops up, sees Jigsaw on the opposite side.
Damn.
Quickly, he shoves a fresh clip in his gun, drops to the ground, and rolls and shoots his way back across the street. He looks up to see Olson pursuing Jigsaw. An alley. Jigsaw enters the alley. Olson follows. Jigsaw throws garbage cans in Olson's path to slow him. 2, 3, 4 garbage cans on Olson, trying to avoid now endless barrage of garbage cans. 15, 20, 50. They just keep coming. Now a huge green dumpster rolls towards him. Olson presses it against the building and rumbles past. Wide, as Jigsaw ducks into a door, Olson races to the door, races to the mouth of the alley. Olson races up as Jigsaw drives out of the garage. Reed does the only logical thing. He pursues on foot, runs over trunks of roofs and hoods, races beside a motorcycle rider, keeps up with him, gestures for a cigarette, gets one, nods a thanks, and accelerates away. A series of shots. Jigsaw's car speeding along the highway. Reed running in the middle of the street. He wears a marathon racer's tag and number. Jigsaw's car racing across the desert. Reed takes water from someone in the crowd that now lines the sidewalks. He drinks, sprays some over his head. Crowd cheer him on. A Jigsaw's car is driving on some snowy, winding mountain road. The Alps come to mind. Reed stopped for a Coke and hot dog at a pull cart. Jigsaw going through a McDonald's drive-thru. In series of shots. Reed's on an overpass, glances down, sees Jigsaw's car, times it, and leaps. And misses. Does a spread eagle on the highway. A pancake. Jigsaw speeds away and Olson drives up.
Let him get away, huh?
Reed glares at him.
We have a witness to the York suicide. Oscar Brown at 112 Maple called and said he was the whole thing.
Reed hops up.
Step on it.
Olson nods, speeds away, leaving Reed in the middle of the highway. Exterior brown house day. Nice, quiet, suburban, Leave It to Beaver type neighborhood. Reed and Olson swing open the gate in the white picket fence, head for the front door. In the background, Egg McMahon exits Publisher's Clearinghouse truck, strolls up the neighbor's walkway carrying a big bag and big dollar sign on it. Two crooks jump out of the bushes and start to rob him.
Let me do the talking, Reed.
You're the boss.
Olson knocks on the door. It's answered by an innocent-looking 10-year-old.
Hello, son. Is Oscar Brown home?
I'm Oscar. Or who wants to know?
They hold up their wallets.
Sergeant Olson, Beverly Hills Police Department. This is Sergeant Reed. These are our wallets. Now, can we speak to Oscar?
I'm Oscar.
Oscar throws the door open, gestures them in. Reed and Olson exchange a glance.
I've got kids, so let me handle Oscar.
Interior living room. A mess, like there was just a 10-year-old living there.
Are your parents home, Oscar?
No.
Where are they?
Oscar shrugs and sits on the sofa.
About a month ago, they said they were going to the corner for a loaf of bread. Haven't seen him since.
Olson's playing the good-natured, take it all in stride, aren't kids a hoot adult. He tosses Oscar's hair. It's so full of grease that his hand gets stuck.
Don't worry, I'm sure they'll be back soon.
Olson jerks his hand out of Oscar's hair.
Ooh.
Say, how old are you, Oscar?
10. Got a crime?
10. Wow. Bet you saw Dick Tracy, didn't you?
Yeah. It was visually interesting, but I thought the story was weak and that Betty was miscast.
Well, the kid was great. Remember how he helped him solve the crime? Sort of a junior detective? How would you like to be a junior detective and help us?
Oscar turns to Reed.
This guy got a point.
What we want to know is...
Olson cuts him off.
Would you like some ice cream, Oscar?
Olson produces a double-dip ice cream cone.
Pass. Guess you're really sweating it, huh, Olson?
Olson slips the cone into a pocket.
What do you mean?
With a smirk, Oscar uses a remote control to snap on a big screen TV. Regis and Kathy Lee appear on a screen with an election night type backdrop.
I'll tell you, Kathy, you're way off the mark on this one. Sergeant Wes Olson is clearly losing ground on the Bill York murder case.
Oh, I hope not. It would be a career-disgracing defeat. I think he'll pull it out.
Reed grabs the remote and turns the volume down. Regis and Kathy are clearly arguing.
The night Bill York died, did you see anyone at his house?
Maybe. Maybe I saw a man.
Would you like to have your very own junior detective badge?
Olson produces a plastic badge stamped with Junior Detective. Oscar rolls his eyes. In the background, on the TV, Regis and Kathy are rolling around in a fight to the death. They'll continue like that during the rest of the scene.
Can you describe him?
Maybe. He was short and creepy looking. Maybe he had a scar across his face and was wearing a dress.
Sounds like someone we just met.
How about a puppy dog? Every boy loves a dog.
Olson lifts a Cocker Spaniel pup from out of frame. There's a red bow around his neck. Oscar ignores him. Olson tosses the dog over his shoulder. Off-screen howl. Olson exits the frame.
Maybe he was wearing this real ugly ring.
Can you describe it?
Olson returns with a pony wearing a rhinestone-studded saddle.
Hey, Oscar, how about your very own pony with your very own Roy Rogers saddle?
Maybe I don't have to describe it. Maybe he dropped it.
Reed's trying to remain cool.
And we see it?
Got a warrant.
No.
Got $300.
No, but I got a gun, kid, and just maybe I'll accidentally shoot off one of your nuts.
Yeah, and maybe I'll take the conversation. Maybe the tape of this conversation will accidentally end up on the DA's desk.
Olson steers Reed towards the door.
We'll be back, Oscar. Hold on to that ring.
As they exit, Regis and Kathy crash through the TV screen, roll around on the floor, and Oscar puts his hand to his cheek in a Home Alone gesture. Exterior Oscar's house. Olson hustles Reed out the front door.
It's an all-time low, Reed, threatening a child like that.
I once threatened an 84-year-old nun confined to a wheelchair. I consider that my all-time low.
It's disgusting.
Hey, the broad confessed. What is it with you, Olson? You're more hung up on going by the book than solving the case.
Olson grimaces. Silence. Then we're into flashback mode. A school crossing. A young Olson. His name tag reads Wes Olson at 12 years old. Stands in the middle of the crosswalk. He wears an armband and banner across his chest that proclaims safety guard. He holds a small stop go sign. His book bag is at his feet. Official, decisive, young Olson motions to school children through the crosswalk. Now the coast seems clear and young Olson reaches into his book bag, plucks out a bag of Fritos. Doesn't notice the elderly woman using her walker to make it through the crosswalk and munches away. The woman passes young Olson. He glances at her, bends to see what else is in his bag, freezes at the sound of, well, sounds like a train whistle, a warning horn. Young Olson's eyes go wide. The earth rumbles, light flashes by, big wind, screeching of brakes, off-screen crash, a scream, a beat. Then the walker falls at young Olson's feet. He drops to the ground and pounds his head on the roadway.
Oh no. By failing to follow the safety guard's manual, look at what I've done. I'm to blame. I didn't go by the rules. It's my fault. I violated page 3, section E, paragraph 9.
A sudden calm, a newfound determination.
From this day forward, I'll always go by the book.
Out of flashback. Old Olson has the same determined look on his face. There's also a name tag on his jacket that reads Wes Olson in the present. A beat.
You were a crossing guard? You guys were all nerds.
In the background, a man in black wearing a ski mask sinks to the side of Brown's home, begins to attach something ominous looking to the building.
What's your problem? You got some kind of death wish?
Reed's jaw tightens and he looks grim.
It's hard for a guy like you to understand. You've got a family. Me? I only had Claire.
A flashback. Memories in muted color. On the beach, Reed holds out a stick, throws it, looks down at Claire with smiling anticipation, and Claire sleeps. Smiling, Reed holds out a dog biscuit.
Come on, Claire. Jump, girl, jump.
Claire sleeps. Reed is bound and gagged as burglars ransack his trailer. Claire sleeps. Reed sleeps as his trailer burns. Claire wakes up and immediately goes to her doggy door and escapes. And flashback. Reed frowns.
Of course. There's a lot to be said for goldfish.
Reed starts walking towards the car, and in the background, the man in black races away from the house.
Something like that happens, and suddenly your world's turned upside down. You live only for the job, to inflict pain on the greasy-haired streptococcus.
Boom! The Browns' house blows up behind them. Reed and Olson hit the ground. Debris rains down on them. A rhinestone saddle drops in front of them.
Who poisoned this city, all in an effort to quell the feverish demons that tear at your soul.
A special forces ring like the one Reed found in McCracken's fish tank drops beside him. Reed picks it up.
Now things are starting to make sense.
Maybe to you.
He holds up the ring.
I'd say this pretty well connects Mordor's to the York and McCracken killings.
Maybe you're onto something. Doing everything wrong to get there.
Oh, excuse me, Mr. Perfect.
They turn around to see a very singed Oscar.
Aren't we forgetting something?
He reaches out a frame and lifts up the mangled walker. Olsen grimaces.
Thanks, kid.
They get in their car, start it. Kaboom! It blows up. A toasted Reed and Olsen stumble out of the car and they see two bikes leaning against the fence. Hop on them, pedal a few feet, and kaboom! The two bikes blow up. Reed and Olsen go flying. Interior Olsen's house kitchen. Night. Reed sits at the kitchen table. Olsen's daughter Debbie and son Ben sit opposite him with their golden retriever between them, drooling all over the table. Olsen sits to his right, serving pizza from Domino's Pizza.
Can't imagine where Doris is. She always likes to check out my new partners.
Ben and Debbie look at each other and snicker.
Guess you forgot, Daddy. This is Mom's bowling with the Teamsters night.
Oh, yeah.
Reed makes small talk, and the retriever has drooled a puddle halfway across the table.
So, Debbie, how do you like school?
Under the table, Debbie starts playing footsie with Reed.
How do you think I like it? It sucks.
Above the table, Reed reacts.
So, Ben, any hobbies?
You mean, do I fish like my dweeb dad?
Ben indicates a poster-sized picture on the wall, Olsen standing proudly beside a huge marlin. Under the table,
Didn't know your father was such a sportsman.
Debbie's still playing footsie with Reed, and now Ben joins in.
That's the one in the cap.
The retriever's paw starts rubbing against Reed's leg. Above the table, Reed jumps up.
Oh, God! I should be going.
No, stay. Here's Doris now.
Doris enters the arm of 18-year-old in Vaughn's uniform and apron. Olsen stands.
Hun, want you to meet Tyler Reed. We've been working together today.
Charmed, I'm sure. This is Ted Polanski. Ted's a produce manager.
Assistant produce manager. Mr. Brubaker's the manager.
Ted was very helpful with some of my produce selections, and I thought I should extend him a special courtesy.
She squeezes his arm, pinches his butt. Olsen is oblivious, preparing coffee at the sideboard.
Coffee, Ted?
Ted comes from a dysfunctional family.
So, no coffee.
I thought it might be nice if he spent some time with us. I was even thinking of taking him to my mother's for the weekend.
Oh, and I know you're just trying to blot the memory out. But your mother's been dead for 6 months.
Stunned silence. Something dawns on Olsen.
Didn't I give you that message?
A beat. Doris screams.
Does that mean you want me to spend the night on my boat docked at the La Playa Marina boat basin, slip number 476?
Doris screams again. Reed jumps up.
I'll pass on coffee.
Reed bolts for the door. Exterior Reed's trailer, night. Reed trudges across the sand to his trailer, hesitates when he sees the open door, draws his pistol, eases into the trailer. Interior Reed's trailer. Reed is a silhouette at the door and only candles illuminate the room.
Don't you, cowboy? It's only me. I love candlelight, don't you?
Only on birthday cakes. You should be more careful. Might have blasted off your eyeshadow.
Destiny shudders at the thought. She's wearing a revealing strapless red dress.
Interesting place. Much bigger than it looks like from the outside.
I chose the light to look bigger here.
I wasn't totally honest with you and Detective Loogie.
No one ever is.
But I can't live with it anymore. I know who's responsible for those cookies. It's the man I fell in love with, a man who betrayed me, a man you know, worked with. General Mortars.
Got a strange taste in men.
There's no accounting for taste when love is involved. Love isn't some math equation with an easy answer. No, it's something wild and delirious and intoxicating.
She looks at Reed, places a cigarette in her mouth and lights it, sucks down to a long ash with one inhale. She exhales through her nose. A cloud of cigarette smoke envelops her.
Something hot.
Why are you telling me this?
Because I'm ashamed. Because Mortars is psychotic.
You can't arrest a man for his religious beliefs.
You don't understand. He's using the wilderness girls of America to sell cocaine. He can ship them anywhere. Everyone trusts the wilderness girl cookie. Oh my. I feel as an incredible weight has been lifted off of my chest.
She moves to Reed, draws him down on the sofa, places his hand on her chest.
Can you feel it?
Yes, yes, I can.
Isn't it wonderful?
Yeah.
And there's more. Yes.
Steam rises from Reed's body.
Tomorrow at midnight, a big drug deal is at the Wilderness Girls Cookie Factory. You and Olsen must stop it.
Yeah, okay.
But not until after.
After what?
She wraps her arms around Reed and draws him to her in the sofa. He's very tense.
Oh, relax, Reed. I'll talk you through it. Squeeze me. Squeeze me like I'm a Smith & Wesson 347 double action Magnum with a extended chrome 8-inch barrel that was just begging for a few squirts of gun oil.
Reed squeezes her.
Now, blow in my ear like you were blowing away the metallic blue discharge wafting from your barrel after you've spent your full load.
Reed blows her right ear. The candle directly beside her left ear goes out. Reed reacts. Destiny stands, draws Reed up. They fall onto Reed's bed and the bed collapses. They don't seem to notice. Pan discreetly to a clock, 12:10. Dissolve to the same clock, 12:11. Pan back to the bed. They're leaning back against the pillow, smoking cigarettes. Sheet covered their chests.
That was magic, Reed.
Then, softly, gently, she begins to cry. She rests her head against his chest.
Guess you're crying because you know it's wrong. Wrong to get mixed up with a guy like me, a guy who lives on the edge and plays for his own rules. A guy who can only spell heartache and loneliness for a woman like you.
No! I can't cry because now that we've had these moments together, I'm so intricately involved with the feeling. I don't know I'm gonna die.
Some things are worth dying for.
He gets up, walks across the room, back to us, his butt exaggerated, overly muscled, and greased up to flash in the moonbeams.
Reed, where are you going?
No, I'm just taking an unmotivated butt in the moonbeams walk.
They're the best kind of walks. Exterior, the beach, still, moon on the sea. And then, helicopters, bells, fierce, moving fast, 3 of them coming in low, shattering the silence with turbothrob. Lights sweep the beach. Interior Reed's trailer. Destiny reacts to the helicopters.
Do you hear something?
Nah!
Exterior trailer. Welcome to hell. Gunfire erupts from the helicopters, lacerating the trailer's metal sides. The barrage collapses the roof and the trailer trembles. In a helicopter, Jigsaw, smiling. Exterior trailer, a final barrage of gunfire. The trailer shudders and collapses. The gunfire stops. A white flag waved at the end of a broom handle appears from a pile of rubble.
Hold your fire.
Now a man appears, hair and clothes singed and smoking, and when he looks up, we see that Bruce Willis waving a white flag wearing a Die Hard 1 t-shirt.
Excuse me, but is this 1014 Pacific Coast Highway?
Bruce shakes his head and points to the beach.
This is 914. 1014's a half a mile up the beach.
Oh, my mistake.
The helicopter spanks south. Interior Reed's trailer. Destiny appears at the window, searches the sky, spots something in the distance.
Reed, look!
Reed joins her at the window and sees them too. Tanks bouncing along the sand.
It's mortars. I know it.
Damn.
They dash from the window. We hear them thumping around in the dark. We hear a few ows and ouches. Exterior Reed's trailer. Destiny and Reed race out. Destiny's wearing Reed's boxer shorts and t-shirt. Reed's wearing Destiny's shoes, garter belt, stockings, panties, and bra. They stop short, look at each other, run back into the trailer. Exterior Reed's car. Reed and Destiny hop in, look nervously back at over their shoulders. The tanks lumber towards them.
Hang on.
Reed guns the car into the PCH. Exterior street night. The caddy squeals to a stop in front of an apartment building. Reed and Destiny hustle out, stop at the front door.
Take care, babe.
Reed, next time instead of just smoking cigarettes in bed, could we actually make love?
Maybe.
Destiny grabs Reed passionately as he turns to leave.
Please, Reed, I want you. I'm burning for you. I'm on fire.
I'm late.
It will only take a minute.
I told you that.
Destiny pulls him close, plants a wet one on him, angle their legs. In unison, Reed and Destiny bend one leg off the ground. Reed still wearing her pumps. A beat, and they both lift the second leg up so they're suspended in midair. Angle Destiny and Reed. Reed pulls away.
Reed, please. Don't you find me desirable?
Sure. But I've got a partner to warn.
Reed exits frame. Linger on Destiny, fighting tears. Reed steps back into frame, bends down, stands back up with Destiny's pumps in hand, and hands them to her and leaves. Exterior marina dock. Thick rolling fog. Somewhere a sea foghorn moans. Reed slouches out of the gray mist. He's wearing a pea coat and knitted navy cap. Collar up. Cigarette, a red glow at the corner of his mouth. The fog rolls away behind him, revealing Popeye being held up at gunpoint. Near the end of the dock, a sailor leans against the pylon operating a fog machine. Reed nods as he passes, flicks his cigarette into the water. There's a flash of fire as the cigarette hits an oil slick. Olsen's boat. All the lights are on. Reed hops onto the deck.
Olsen! Olsen, where are you?
No answer. He hears ticking, goes to a cabinet at the bow, opens it. There it is. A timer rigged to 6 sticks of dynamite. 4 different colored wires run from the timer to the dynamite. 30 seconds from detonation. Reed produces a pair of wire clippers, hesitates over which wire to cut, takes a deep breath, places the clippers over the red wire.
Are you crazy? Not the red wire?
Reed spins around, Becker's behind him in a pea coat and sailor's cap.
What the hell are you doing here?
It's where the cab dropped me off.
Oh.
He turns back to the job, snips the red wire. All the lights on the boat go out. The time is running down.
Nah.
Without looking, Reed swings his right arm back. We hear an off-screen grunt and a splash. Reed cuts the yellow wire. All the lights in the marina go out. Tick, tick, tick. Sweat coming off Reed in buckets. He snips the black wire. A beat. In the background, the city skyline goes black. Timer still ticking. 5 seconds left. Reed snips the last wire. The timer stops. Reed sighs, stands, and tosses the wire clippers aside. Takes a step. The tick, tick. Reed spins around, grabs the timer, and hurls it into the water. A beat. An explosion of water. The water goes still. A beat. 100 of those little plastic wind-up divers float to the water, belly up. Reed reacts, turns, and walks briskly away. Exterior Olson's house morning. Reed parks in front of the house, crosses to the front door. It's open. Reed doesn't like the looks of this. He draws his pistol, presses close to the door, eases it open some more. Interior Olson's house, close on Reed. Head peeking around the door. Early morning sun squeezing through the blinds is the only light. Still peeking around the door in the CU. Reed creeps forward, creeping, always peeking around the door. Another angle. The front door is off the hinges. Reed stands in the middle of the living room, holding it upright.
Olson? Olson!
No response. Reed tosses the door aside. Meow. He startled the cat, and the cat startled him. Reed swings around as the cat scurries to the door. Reed takes a deep breath, relaxes a little, presses forward carefully, stumbles over a dog sleeping by the sofa. Both of them are scared, and the dog scurries away. Reed lets out a sigh of relief, eases around the sofa, and steps into the middle of a flock of chickens. Startled birds flutter up in his face. Reed backs away and almost falls over a pig that lumbers its way towards the front door. Reed puts his hand over his heart and tries to regain his composure.
Where are you?
Here. I'm up here.
And there's an urgency in his voice.
Where?
Upstairs.
Reed leans against the wall, separating the living room from the stairs. He takes a deep breath, readies the pistol, swings around the wall to the foot of the stairs, and is almost trampled by a herd of cattle. He presses against the wall as they rush past. Interior hallway, Reed appears at the head of the stairs.
Olson, where are you?
Bathroom at the end of the hall.
Reed heads down the hallway, tight grip on the pistol, reaches the bathroom door.
Olson?
Yeah, I'm in here.
Reed steps back, kicks the door open, leaps into the bathroom, pistol poised to blow off someone's head. Olson sits on the toilet, magazine in his lap.
What's wrong?
Nothing. I'm taking a shit.
Reed clears his throat, backs out of the room. Interior Reed's car, day moving.
Busted a cookie factory. I don't know about this. Can you trust this woman?
Yes.
How do you know her? Did you kiss her?
No.
Give her a hickey?
Reed shakes his head, no.
Handle her hooters?
No again.
Side of the salami?
Head shake, no.
Then what could you possibly know about her?
I know we wear the same size pumps.
You one of those macho guys who just hates women, Reed?
If I tell you something, do you swear it'll just stay between us?
You secret stay with me, Raiden. Whatever you tell me doesn't leave this car. You have my word on that.
My mother didn't breastfeed me.
Interior patrol car parked outside of Winchell's Donuts. Reed's voice is heard over the main frequency. 2 cops spit their coffee on the dash and listen.
She teased me with it, then give me the bottle. Went on for years.
Interior fire station. Firemen gather around the PA and listen, oblivious to the fact that the station is on fire.
By the time I hit 13, I developed this love-hate thing with breasts and a distrust of women. I just don't understand them.
Interior Reed's car stops now, horn honking going on, and Reed honks too.
I breastfed until I was 16, and I still don't understand women.
Interior is 747. The pilots listen over their headphones, so absorbed they're oblivious to the fact they're buzzing buildings, sweeping under suspension bridge. In the cabin, passengers listen over their headphones, oblivious to stewardesses being tossed around like rag dolls.
There's an old Chinese proverb, trust love and it will slaughter many Huns. I have no idea what it means, but I feel more secure just knowing it.
Interior Reed's car.
And while we're sharing so openly, I want you to know that I appreciate what you did in coming to warn me. Not many people I know would have done that.
That's the advantage of working with strangers.
Actually, what I meant was just most of them would have called.
New York City quality horn honking. Reed turns around in his seat and yells.
Have a little patience.
And now we see the traffic jam. Worst in history. Goes on forever. Reed turns back. A teen finishes washing the caddy's windshield, and the car squats in the middle of the street, the cause of this massive backup. Interior Captain Murphy's office. Reed and Olson stand in front of an inflamed Murphy, and he's shouting.
You're telling me I met you with a scar and a German accent?
Austrian, Captain.
Murphy's eyes churn.
An Austrian accent, dressed like a wilderness girl, killed York, and then tried to kill you two, and that tonight there's a drug deal at a cookie factory? Do I have that straight?
I know it sounds crazy, but
Sounds crazy. No, it is crazy. Consider this investigation closed.
Captain,
Shut up! There, Olson. You're putting a pension on the line. Now, get the hell out of my office.
Reed and Olson back out of the office. Interior squad room. Olson and Reed head for the exit.
well, it was almost nice working with you.
Reed stops in his tracks.
Can't quit now. We've come too far, gotten too close, invested too much time, burned too many bridges, climbed too many mountains, followed too many.
You heard the captain. We're off the case.
I heard him.
Me too.
Reed looks around. Everyone is nodding in agreement, and Reed turns to Olson.
I thought maybe I was getting to you. Sometimes you can't play by the rules. Well, I'm going after them alone and by myself.
Olson grimaces. Reed heads for the door. Passes Dooley, who sits with his back to us, tied in a straitjacket. Reed slaps Dooley on the back as he passes.
Hope you get out of that thing.
As Reed goes out the door, Dooley crumbles to the floor, a skeleton with a hunk of hair. Interior Reed's trailer, night. Only we don't know that at first because we're tied on a pistol and it's being jammed into a shoulder holster. Then, in quick cuts, a knife is slid into an ankle holster. A belt of pickle-sized bullets is thrown over a shoulder. Grenades are clipped into a belt. A blowgun is velcroed to an ankle. A slave bracelet is clipped onto a woman's ankle. A bazooka is slid down a pant leg. Bow and arrows are slung across a back. A Boy Scout knife is slid into a pocket and then wide. To discover Reed armed to the teeth and ready for battle, he takes a step, totters, then collapses under the weight of his weaponry. Exterior Wilderness Girls Cookie Factory night. Sprawling waterfront factory, chimneys spewing smoke. Boat horns honking in the distance, barbed wire fences. Reed darts across the street, presses against the fence, cuts an opening with wire clippers, and while he's doing this, elderly women coming off their shift walk through the open gate 2 feet away. Reed squeezes through the opening, darts across the yard to massive doors. Reed slips out a lock-picking kit. An elderly woman walks past the crouching Reed and opens the door.
Coming in, dear.
Yeah, thanks.
Oh, just a moment.
Reed freezes. She takes a tissue from her coat pocket and begins wiping the grease paint from under his eyes.
We can't have you going around like that, can we?
Guess not. Thanks.
She smiles, nods, enters the building. Interior Wilderness Girls Factory lobby. Employees check in. The elderly woman punches a time clock and exits through a set of swinging doors. Reed follows. Interior manufacturing room. Row upon row of conveyor belts carrying a Wilderness Girl cookie. Grandmotherly types sit along the belts packaging cookies. Reed climbs a set of metal stairs leading to a catwalk above the massive factory floor. On the catwalk, stops, listens. The elderly women are singing and whistling.
Oh, that was still me. Whistle while we work. Whistle while we work.
Reed gets caught up in the music, starts whistling, skips happily down the catwalk, slows as he reaches a storage area. Below him, cases of cookies, and in an open area, Mortar sits at a table. He's flanked by a couple of thugs. The large hibachi man now has bandages on both hands and his crotch, and Destiny. A gun barrel presses against Reed's head.
I've been waiting for this moment, Mr. Reed.
A beat. Then Reed spins around and knocks the pistol away. Jigsaw dives on Reed, knife in hand. Reed blocks the blow, knocks the knife away, and Jigsaw pulls a sword from out of frame. Reed knocks it away. Jigsaw produces a meat cleaver. Reed knocks it away. Jigsaw pulls out an electric carving knife. It whines, blade slicing on mortars. He looks up at the whirring sound and smiles.
That's the end of Mr. Reed.
Destiny grimaces. On the catwalk, the whirring knife blade is at Reed's throat. Reed reaches out a frame, yanks on something. The knife blade stops. Jigsaw frowns. Reed dangles the cord and plug. Jigsaw goes for Reed's throat, and Reed flips Jigsaw over the railing. Jigsaw's scream ends with a sickening thud. On mortars, he looks up again.
The end of Reed.
Destiny shudders, pulls a gun out of her purse.
This has gone far enough. First, you use me to sell drugs through the Wilderness Girls. Then you make me wear that leather demi-cup underwire bra with matching panties and garter belt. And then...
The bra with the metal studs.
That's the red one. I'm talking about the black set with the gold piping.
I always liked that one.
I hate it. But most of all, I hate the fact that you made me lure Reed here. The man I've come to love.
Don't be foolish. You're letting morality cloud your judgment.
Playtime's over, General.
Everyone turns. Reed walks out of the shadows. Uzi trained on mortars.
Reed!
Destiny, I want you to know I was moved by what you said.
I meant it. I do love you.
Well, not that. The stuff about that black leather outfit. Anyway, now, General, tell your goons to drop their guns.
Maybe you should take a look at this first.
Mortars nods to a goon who flicks on a wall switch. It illuminates a spot on the wall where a dog is chained like a prisoner in the dungeon. There's a low-budget metal electrode hat on the dog's head. Mortars gloats.
Let her go.
Why should I?
Because you want this.
He holds up a small strip of microfilm.
I underestimated you, son.
I'll take that.
Reed freezes, gun against his spine. A battered Jigsaw takes the microfilm. Mortar draws his weapon.
The game's up, Mr. Reed. Put down your gun.
Put down yours, General.
You won't shoot me, Angel Buns. You don't have the guts.
Bam! Destiny shoots him. Mortars hits the floor. Jigsaw is distracted and Reed turns on him. Jigsaw raises his pistol. Reed blows him away with the Uzi. He flies through a pane of glass that's suddenly there just to provide a visual.
Reed, look out!
He spins and is confronted with a lineup of thugs. Reed goes through a series of Bruce Lee maneuvers to take these guys out. All of them fly through panes of glass that are hurriedly carried into place by two other thugs. Pan the line of thugs waiting their turn to get a shot at Reed. Some read newspapers, some do loosening up exercises. They take numbers from a type of dispenser you'd find in a bakery. Mortars crawls to Jigsaw's prostrate body, prying the microfilm out of his clenched fists. No go. Mortars slaps Jigsaw. Nothing. Punches him in the solar plexus. Still can't unclench the fist. Reed finishes off the last bad guy, gives a thankful pat on the back to the thugs who held the glass, goes to Claire and frees her. Mortars bites the Jigsaw hand. Nothing. Tickles him under the right armpit. That does it. Mortars grabs the microfilm and turns his gun on Reed. Destiny sees this, dives at Reed and Claire, knocking them out of the line of fire. She takes Mortar's bullet. Mortars makes his escape. Reed goes to Destiny and cradles her head.
Reed, I'm so sorry. Can you forgive me?
Shh. Be quiet. Lie still. Don't move. Take it easy. Get some rest. Drink plenty of liquids.
Reed, I'm cold. I'm so cold.
Reed reaches over and removes bag of party ice off her legs.
Thanks. Reed?
She coughs. Blood foams at the corner of her mouth.
Kiss me.
She coughs again. More blood falls. He doesn't look too sure about this. He pulls out a handkerchief and dabs the corners of her mouth. Kisses her. Destiny clutches hold of him.
Mortars for me. Reed.
Reed gives her another kiss and then takes off. Another part of the factory. Huge vats churn cookie dough. Reed enters, follows a trail of red drops on the floor, and turns a corner. An empty ketchup bottle lies on the ground. A bullet ricochets off a vat near Reed and he leaps away. Bullets eat up the ground around him. One of them hits a tank labeled gasoline and it begins to leak.
Give it up, Mortars. It's over. This place will be crawling with cops in a minute. Make it easy on yourself. You're only making things worse. Quit while you're...
A gun barrel presses against Reed's head.
Getting sloppy, son.
Well, it was still sound advice. How could you have sunk so low?
Look around you, Reed. $1 billion worth of pure, uncut cocaine. This microfilm is the key. On it is a recipe for mixing cookie batter with cocaine.
Actually, if you hold that to the light, you'll see it's the episode of Rocky and Bullwinkle where...
Mortar does hold it to the light, and he's enraged.
Where's my microfilm, Reed?
I believe this is it.
Everyone turns to Olson, and holding a gun, behind him, the gasoline inches towards the furnace marked fire.
You showed.
Couldn't let my partner face us alone.
You had the microfilm all along.
Not exactly. But obviously you didn't. I knew Reed and I didn't, so the only place it could still be was with York. Took some digging, but I found it. Now drop the gun, General.
Or what, Sergeant? You'll shoot me?
Olson takes aim, hand trembles, the gasoline inches closer to the furnace.
Shoot him, partner.
Olson shivers. He looks at Reed. Mortars. Reed. Mortars.
You can't shoot me, Sergeant. You're a cop. You have to play it by the book.
Suddenly, Olson becomes completely composed. He looks at Mortars. Hard. Smiles.
Sometimes, General, you have to make up the rules as you go.
Mortar's sneer vanishes. Olson fires. Reed screams, covers his face in anguish. Olson's jaw drops. Reed laughs.
Hey, just kidding.
Mortars drops dead.
But I'm not.
They spin around to see Jigsaw on the catwalk, and Jigsaw fires. Reed goes down. Olson fires. Jigsaw topples over the railing into a vat of cookie dough. Olson goes to Reed, and he cradles his head.
Good going, partner. You got all the bad guys.
Save your strength, buddy.
This is it. The big checkout. Yet I feel strangely restful. At peace with myself. One with the universe. Resigned and unafraid. Embracing death.
You're delirious. Snap out of it! You're not gonna die on me! You're gonna hang in there. You're gonna tough it out!
Another angle. Someone's point of view. We don't know who at first. Olson continues to beat the crap out of Reed's now lifeless body. Reed steps into frame. The ghost of Reed. He's watching Olson pound on him. He doesn't quite get it. Looks at his hands in a Patrick Swayze, what the hell is going on here kind of way. Sees through them. Now he gets it. He turns and confronts them. The black angels of death ascending from the bowels of hell. Or at least through the factory floor coming for him. Reed looks at them, looks at his lifeless form, back at them, shakes a finger at him.
You can forget that crap, man.
Reed races to his body and jumps back in. The black angels shake their heads, snap their fingers in defeat, slouch away. On Reed and Olson, Reed's eyes pop open.
I thought you were done.
Nah, it takes more than 12 rounds from an Uzi to kill Tyler Reed.
As Olson helps him up, the gasoline hits the furnace. Big explosion. Olson and Reed are propelled out of frame. Exterior Wilderness Girls Factory night. Reed and Olson stumble out of the building. Lots of sirens now. Firemen and police rush past. It's getting crowded. Murphy races up to Reed and Olson.
Looks like you missed the fireworks.
Wrong. Looks like I'm just in time for them.
He indicates an incredible 4th of July style firework display going on over the building. Cops, firemen, reporters have all stopped to admire it.
So you two are a couple of superheroes, huh? Wild West vigilantes.
We got the bad guys, Captain.
And you almost got yourselves killed. I wish I had more men like you.
He shakes their hands and addresses Olson.
I'd like you to reconsider that retirement.
Only if Reed's my partner.
I think that can be arranged.
Murphy pats them on the shoulder and turns to a young officer.
Okay, let's move this crowd of gawkers out of here.
And for the first time, we reveal the crowd. Massive, bleachers full of people, buses arriving, every rooftop and window jammed with gawkers. Obvious matte painting stuff. Olson's wife runs up to him.
Wes, you were wonderful. I'm very proud of you, and I want you to be the first to meet someone very special.
She tugs Becker into frame.
Okay, all right. You're not comfortable with this at first, but you'll get used to it. I grow on you. I know you'll be happy for us.
Your father will be happy. He never liked me. Comes out of his coma, tell him.
Olson moves away. Doris looks stunned, calls after him.
Coma? What coma?
Claire comes through the smoke. Destiny clings to her neck. Claire drags Destiny to the fence, and Reed and Olson race over.
Claire! Destiny, you're all right! You're alive!
Reed pets Claire and moves to Destiny. Claire growls, snaps, won't let Reed near Destiny.
We found magic in there, Reed. A love pure and unsullied.
Destiny hugs Claire.
Yeah, well, just don't let her see you with your hair up.
Reed and Olson press through the crowd, past autograph seekers, reporters, get into Reed's car, and pull away. They sigh. Reed snaps on the radio. Queen, we are the champions. Maybe a little Scaramouche, Scaramouche. They grimace. Reed turns the dial from the back seat.
Look, she got on my nerves. I don't know how you took her. What a pest.
Olson turns back. Classical music on the radio now, something rousing. Maybe Wagner, a beat. Reed, Olson, and Becker look at each other and in unison start headbanging in time with the music. Stay with this for a moment, and then exterior car. As it speeds away, music drifting back to us as we fade out.
And that was our mystery read of National Lampoon's Loaded Weapon 1. Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you at the next one.